The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Yes. Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, but it is Alan Stiles today for the next 4 hours, along with our guy, Chris Verlade. So there's still a little bit of normalcy here on this Friday. Does anybody work anymore? We get a day off, and these guys say, no, it's not enough. We also are going to take Friday off, and both of us are going to take Friday off, but we have a really strong roster here at the station, so I bumped on up, and you will hear some familiar voices in my slot, the Alan Stiles Show from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Chris Verlade, our first show together. I've been here 2 years now, and somehow you've managed to avoid me for almost 2 years, but I caught you finally.
Finally. And it only took everybody leaving for that to happen.
Literally. So I'm excited for the next 4 hours coming off of a day off. I hope if you had the day off, you were able to recharge. And if you didn't, well, at least it's Friday. We have a fun show planned for you on this Friday as the Pacers. Did they do the unthinkable or not? They won the game they were supposed to win if they were going to win that game. I thought they were dead to rights, but every time I've thought that, they've managed to make their way back from the dead. Tyrese Halliburton gets to even rest a little bit, and now we have, what do they say? The favorite words, everybody's favorite words in sports? Game 7. So we'll break all of that down. The Lakers sell for more money than heaven itself, but is there something deeper to that? A little tinfoil hat for you as far as what is going on there. And yes, Luka Doncic, I don't know, man. Something sketchy there. That timing, that doesn't add up to me. Ty Jerome, there is a rumor upon all the other rumors. Ty Jerome to the Kings, is that a possibility? And would you want him? We have some fun with Charizard, Charmeleon, and Charmander when we're talking about some of these point guards that the scrappy point guards that the Kings fans might want, and where does Ty Jerome fall on that scale? Jaylen Brown and the Derek White sweepstakes, I feel like both of them are overpaid, and I feel like both of them are going to get overpaid for if they head to another team. We have at 8 o'clock, and I'm really excited about this. Look, man, there have been, and I'm going to keep teasing this until we get to 8 o'clock, and then I'm going to talk about it after 8 o'clock, because the rumor mill is strong right now. The force is strong with this one, as they say in Star Wars. The rumor mill is strong within the Kings social media, Kings fandom realm. Well, I'll tell you this much. I got a call yesterday, I'm picking weeds on my day off, okay? Because I don't need HOA on my back. I get a call as I'm starting to pick the weeds outside my front lawn, and this call said a lot about what's going on within the Kings organization. Now, when we have conversations about these rumors, and if y'all listen to the Alan Stiles Show 10 a.m., 2 p.m., thank you for that. And if you don't, maybe I will convince you to today within the next 4 hours. I don't do the sources thing unless I do the sources thing, unless I have some sources. So I get a call yesterday as I'm getting ready to pick the weeds, and it was a call, somebody very, very close to the situation with the Sacramento Kings. And we have updates coming up at 8 about some of these rumors, DeMar DeRozan and the Heat. And I'm talking about literally the people that are having these conversations, okay? That's the most I can tell you. But at 8 o'clock, it's not debunking because anything can happen. But we give you an update on that. We give you an update on the idea that the Kings are going to move up in the draft. And again, conversations are happening. Okay, but some of the specifics that are coming out, maybe they're playing coy, or maybe some things are just getting a bit assumed. So that's coming up at 8 o'clock. You don't want to miss that. And if you do miss it, of course, all this will be on the Sacktown Sports app and on YouTube. You can rewind. You can find these segments and on the TuneIn app as well. Sam Amick says the Suns are entering phase 2 as it pertains to Kevin Durant. And is that really a surprise to anybody? Really anybody at all? Because Kevin Durant at 36, 37 years old, he's making 50 whatever million. The preferred destinations, the messed up prices, right? Or the salary matches, things like that. It's not the same as De'Aaron Fox, but it's shades of it. So now they're entering phase 2, which is, yeah, KD, we really don't care that much about your preferred destinations. They can figure that out. That's not our job. We tried to be nice, and now we're losing leverage. So ultimately, we got to figure it out. A little bit of football before we close out the show, as Lamar does not say the words revenge tour, but kind of talks about the revenge tour, okay, and vengeance like he's Batman. Oh, my goodness. We're going to talk about how many teams have actually pulled off the revenge tour and what constitutes a revenge tour. You didn't even go to the Super Bowl. How can you have a revenge tour? There's only one team that I can recall that pulled off a revenge tour and nobody cared. That's the 2015 Kansas City Royals. That's the one time a team lost that I can recall recently, then came back and won, and it's baseball, so nobody cared. We will play some of the sound from Nick Kurtz, another walk-off, by the way. And Nick Kurtz, a special place in my heart because he grew up in the same town, little town out in central Pennsylvania. That's where my wife's from. So he actually went to my wife's rival high school. So I have a close eye on Nick Kurtz, and the dude is balling right now. So we have that call for you as the A's walk it off and, have a pretty good series there against the Astros. And Jake LaRavia was in the car with somebody you really don't want him in the car with. Okay? We'll tell you who that is within the show as well. All right, Chris. This is how we do this. Is it time for leading off?
Yeah, let's go with it. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Well, you can hardly ask for a better performance, particularly given the fact that if you didn't play well, your season would have ended.
MJB, this team, just in case you didn't know, NBA Finals, Game 7, and they still have an opportunity to win a championship. How cool is that?
Yep, Pacers win.
Yep.
You heard that right there. Going to Game 7. Alan, what are your first thoughts?
I didn't see it happening. I didn't see it happening. But you know what? Wasn't it so obvious, right? And that's how Vegas kind of gets you. Wasn't it so obvious that the Thunder were going to finish this thing? I originally had Thunder in 6, and I felt like I was being one of the nicer prognosticators to the Thunder. We have the roundtable with Frankie Cardicelli, Chris Watkins, and Brendan Nunez. They had Thunder in 4, they had Thunder in 5, and here we are going to a Game 7. And the craziest thing was that was a classic Pacers game where it was just an evenly dispersed scoring extravaganza. Pascal only had 16. Andrew Nembhard had 17. That was probably his best game of the series. Tyrese with 14. He only played 23 minutes. That's perfect for them. Obi Toppin, 20. Everybody knows that I love Obi Toppin, 20 points in 23 minutes. That's incredible. And then you get a random TJ McConnell with 12 points. So I really liked what I saw from the Pacers. It was just an energy game, Chris. I don't know if I believe they can pull it off in OKC to end it. But again, I didn't think that we'd be here talking about a Game 7 anyway. So I'm not going to count them out. Tyrese has a couple more days now to rest up. That game is not till Sunday. So, yeah, you got to get on a plane, things like that. But I think anything is possible. The thing about the Thunder, which has worried us for a while, Jalen Williams has been that X factor all game, all series long. Jalen Williams, he struggled in some of the series prior to this. They are calling it, but then the next game he balls out, they call him Scottie Pippen. What is Jalen Williams? He had 16. He was over 4 from 3, so not an awful game. But Chet Holmgren, that dude confuses the heck out of me. He has not played very well, and ultimately, we're going to see who Chet's going to be either in Game 7 or within the next season because, yeah, it's just a lot of Shea, and that's every single game, but Shea with 21 points. So the Thunder, it's Shea and the crew, right? What are you going to get from Jalen, and are you going to get anything from Chet or a random Alex Caruso game? So good on the Pacers. I truly have no clue what's going to happen on Sunday.
Anything that happens, you wouldn't be surprised of blowout. I won't see a Pacers blowout, but I could see an OKC blowout.
Yeah,
I could see the Pacers being beat by like 22 in the second quarter and then come back to win.
Exactly.
I could see the Pacers being up 10 for most of the game and then losing it at the end. Still think Oklahoma City's going to win.
I think Oklahoma
also,
City,
last night, it did kind of feel like there was a point where OKC's like, all right, let's just not get embarrassed and just take this back home.
Right. I mean, and you know what's so weird? It's always so funny about the lineups when you have a super deep team, because it got to a point where the Pacers were trying to sit guys, but they have so many dudes that they play. Obi Toppin is playing essentially in a blowout, and he's like your number one player coming off the bench because the bench is so deep with people that they play anyway. Ben Shepherd is still in, Matherin's still in. Their rotation guys are playing in the blowout because they have no choice. What's number 2, Chris?
Cut number 2.
Here's the pick. Kurtz destroys another baseball. Home run hero here in Sacramento.
Nick Kurtz, his second walk-off homer of the week. Okay, of the week. He did it on Monday. He does it again today or last night. It's ridiculous, Chris. And like I said, he's got a special place in my heart. Look, those who don't know how I talk about the A's, for the most part, okay, obviously sometimes we'll get into the logistics and I don't know, for lack of a better term, the politics, things like that. But I got a baseball background. I like just talking about baseball. And when it comes to straight up baseball, you cannot deny that the A's have probably one of the best young position player cores in baseball, between Jacob Wilson, Nick Kurtz. They're going to get Zach Geloff back as well. Tyler Soderstrom's only about 25. Lawrence Butler, who they locked up, he's the elder statesman. He's 25. These guys can really hit the baseball, and it flies out of Sutter Health, by the way. But Nick Kurtz doing what he's been doing. Here you go. He his last 5 games, he's 6 for 15, and 2 for 4 with a home run, 6 for 16. Or excuse me. On June 15th, he was 2 for 4 with the home run. On June 16th, he was 1 for 4 with a 2 RBI home run walk-off. June 17th, he was 1 for 4 with a double. June 18th, he was 3 for 4 with a home run, a double, and an RBI. And June 19th, he was 1 for 4 with a home run, which was the walk-off. He is slugging .676 in June. Ridiculous.
And those home runs, he did not get cheated out of. They were like game over as soon as you heard it type of swings. He's exciting. Jacob Wilson is exciting. It's always just like tough, like trying to separate everything from each other.
We can do it though, Chris. I believe in us. We can do it. You might not want to do it. And like I said, Carmichael Dave Show.
It's one of the things, like, you can't blame him.
Right.
They're not doing anything wrong.
No, they're not doing anything wrong. And, Lawrence Butler accidentally called it Oakland. Ha ha, he. Of course he did. He was out there for, a decent amount of, we've been calling it that forever. It's all right. It is all right. I like to compartmentalize things, Chris. That's how it always goes down for me. And with the John Fisher, all that stuff aside, this young core is exciting. It is what it is. What's cut number 3?
Cut number 3.
And the throw. And they got it. And the Giants are going to salvage a game in this 3-game series. Folks, it wasn't easy.
Yes, the Giants, what are they, 1-2 now after adding Rafael Devers? They win. I saw this thing last week, and the Giants it was one of the longest stretches of 1 run games in the history of baseball. The torture is back, even though it's an odd year, and they're able to get one against the Guardians. The Guardians, they're only playing 300 baseball. They're above 300 now after what they did out in San Francisco. The Willy Adames thing, I am worried about that. 0 for 3 yesterday with a walk and no hits again. Rafael Devers, I'm not worried about. I don't really care. They could throw him at second base. They could obviously throw him at first base. The dude is going to get on base. He gets on base twice yesterday with a walk and a knock. Besides that, though, look, man, it's just tough sledding. It's tough sledding. And you did win the game. 2 runs, just typically, it's just so much pressure on the pitchers. Every single game, you give up 3 runs, you're shaking in your boots, just wondering, are we going to be able to get there? Patrick Bailey makes his return, and he returns to still being unable to hit. Look, the Casey Schmidt stuff, Jung-Hoo Lee, I saw something, I think Tim Kawakami wrote this, Jung-Hoo Lee is just allergic to the opposite field. And I'm going to go a little old school here, Chris, because that's how I get down. I don't know how tall Jung-Hoo Lee is, but he looks like he's a shade under 6 foot, okay? Those guys back in my day, and I know he has been balling, but those guys back in my day with Jung-Hoo Lee's speed, you need to hit the ball at least sometimes to the left of second base. What are you doing pulling everything? And I know guys are throwing 107 miles per hour nowadays, but it's just weird to me. And I know Barry's in there giving everybody tips and things like that. And I know Barry is probably just beating around the bush a little bit to some of these guys. What are you doing? You don't have to pull the baseball every single at bat. If that were, like I said, back in my day, and Jung-Hoo Lee, every single at bat, he's pulling the ball, first base, right up to the second baseman, just rolling over. The next 10 at bats, you're not actually trying to hit it to left field, but that's your thought process. And I don't know if that's how they do things. I know they got launch angle. And I know they got, your WOBA, ex-WOBA, all these things that I don't even understand, and your exit velo. Just try to hit the ball to the left side of the field. Just one time, Jung-Hoo Lee, just one time. Dominic Smith, he's been up and down. We get all that. So it's tough sledding. The Giants win, and what do they go to now? 42-33, but it's just every single game is 1 run.
Yeah, and it came this season I'll say the standings got out of whack quick because they were tied with the Dodgers. Mm-hmm. First game in LA, then they lose 2, then they lose 2 to Cleveland, and now they're 3.5 back, just like that. So
it's the best division in baseball, and I've been saying that really all season long. It's the best division in baseball, and ultimately you're going to have to find a way to keep pace. The one thing, when I was watching Rafael Devers' debut, they had Buster in the booth with Kruk and Kipe. And he didn't necessarily say, obviously he didn't say, yeah, we're looking to make another big move. Buster wants to respect what the guys have done, but he also wants to be able to see what else is out there. So I'm curious to see what else they do. Because if I read off that lineup to you, you got, and no disrespect to Mike Yastrzemski. Look, I think he's the longest tenured Giant at this point, but Mike Yastrzemski, Adames, Devers, Ramos, Dominic Smith, Casey Schmidt, Jung-Hoo Lee. They've now moved Jung-Hoo Lee to batting, what is that, 7th? Patrick Bailey, Christian Koss, Wilmer Flores, and Tyler Fitzgerald. I know people are worried about Tyler Fitzgerald as well. He was a pinch runner yesterday, but he really hasn't hit. There are some notes that scare you, right? But there are some notes within that lineup that are just kind of automatic outs. So I'm curious, the pitching side of things, the Giants might need another starter. We'll see what happens with Verlander. But hitting-wise, I know everybody's excited about Devers. You might still be 1 bat away. And I'll tell you this much, Chris, you want to combine cut number 2 and cut number 3 from leading off here. Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Alan Stiles taking you up to 10 a.m. And I'll tell you what, they might be able to look up here in West Sac and might be able to find something. I think the cost would be palatable. You look at some of these guys, the Urias, that second base is starting to look like a hole. You might be able to get some, not the guys I just talked about, obviously, Jacob Williams, Nick Kurtz, nobody like that. I don't even think they could get a Lawrence Butler. But you look at some of these Gio Urshela's of the world and guys like that, and maybe you say, hey, it's a quick bus ride. Come on down, and maybe we be able to get something done, Chris.
Yeah, and then once again, we're talking about thanks, Hayes.
Exactly.
Thanks for coming to Sacramento, showing us what you could be, and then leaving.
Well, I'll tell you this much too. If you're the Giants, do you get a discount? Hey, you're playing in our ballpark. So
maybe that's the thing. Like, all right, okay, guys, you can play in our AAA field, but we get like first dibs at your players.
Yeah, there you go. So that was leading off, Chris. Great stuff. And you got the Pacers blowing out the Thunder. I didn't see that coming. Maybe some people did. Nick Kurtz's walk-off, and the Giants win yet another close one. I think out of these three, the Pacers is probably the one that surprised everybody the most. And the Tyrese Halliburton thing, I don't know if you guys got into it very much, but last week, some of the ridiculous rhetoric that was going around with Tyrese Halliburton, stop trying to be a hero and Tyrese shouldn't play, things like that. I'm just going to say this, man. You don't know what anybody is going through within their body. And I know the calf strains, trust me, calf strains can be scary. Tyrese had some injuries the last couple seasons, especially to start out the seasons. But I just don't think that he is getting bad information. And if he was willing to suit up, clearly he was willing to go. From what I saw, did he look 100%? No. But Chris, it's the finals. What are we actually talking about?
Yeah, no one's 100%. And like the weird thing is him having a fine game is going to make a lot of those people say like, see, he's not that hurt to begin with. This is just an excuse for him not playing well. Just look at him. This is everyone's hurt. This is the finals. You got to play. You got to carry the team on your back.
Yeah.
And dude.
And these are,
saying all that, I still hate Tyrese Halliburton.
At least you had to caveat it. And these are the things, these are some of the questions that we had with Tyrese before he got hurt, because he's not a score-first point guard. So it was really hard to tell in that last game. And obviously, yeah, he's limping off in the post-game presser and things like that. But ultimately, he had to make a decision for himself. He had to make a decision for his team. And I just don't know why people have to pick and choose. You got the Michael Jordan flu game, and that's great. I think Jamal Murray had one of those games. Might have been this season, even though the Nuggets, obviously, their season came to a close. But just I think it was when they beat the Clippers. But all of these situations where you pick and choose, oh, don't do that, you're going to injure yourself. And then you also sit there and watch football. And football, your leg literally has to be on the other side of the field in order for them to not let you to play. And they'll still ask, can you run? Can someone go over there and tape it and see what's going on? So I thought the Tyrese Halliburton stuff was really bizarre. Maybe it's because people didn't think that the Pacers were going to win anyway. So just kind of weird stuff, but good for Tyrese, even though Chris can't stand him, and the Pacers getting us to Game 7. And I feel like once you get to Game 7, more often than not, it'll be a good game. You're going to have some, because this is how I break it down. You're going to have some jitters for probably the first quarter, I would say. So those jitters will keep it close, and then we'll see in the second quarter, do the Thunder break away, or can the Pacers kind of keep pace here? Funny, because Stephen A had his daughter popped up on the pregame yesterday, and Stephen A said something. This was a couple games ago when they were still in OKC, but Stephen A, he got caught playing solitaire, and everybody was roasting him for that. But after he gets caught playing solitaire, he is kind of pregaming and previewing everything, and he goes, "If I'm the Pacers, I'd like to keep this thing close." And that was the end of the quote. As if, no, Stephen A, I think the Pacers said, you know what, guys, let's go out there, go down by 30, and see what happens next. What happens next for us, safe or out, is coming up. We will break all of that down. Like I said, a Lakers sell for more money than heaven itself. Ty Jerome to the Kings? ? Jaylen Brown in the Derek White sweepstakes. And, of course, we have updates on your Kings rumors. 4 hours with you, Alan Stiles, on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, tell me what's happening for the Employee Pricing Plus sales event.
Anyone can get you employee pricing, but at Hoblet, it's all about the plus. You can only get here. Save up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Ram 1500 Crew Cabs. One of the many reasons we are the #1 Ram truck dealer in California.
But why do you think Hoblet's consistently California's #1 Ram truck dealer?
You won't find a better price on the Ram truck you need. And with 500 new Rams available, no one has a better selection. Plus, being a 5th-generation family-owned dealer, you get the big city selection and savings with the small-town service, and we have 7 Walter P. Chrysler Service Awards to prove it.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
16,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie after 6,000 factory rebates and 10,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,500 select inventory bonus cash, 500 on the job upfit, must show eligible upfit. Employee pricing factored into dealer discount. 5% savings. Sample VIN 711632. See dealer for details.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret, AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Avriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Hoblet Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Tickets and info at CITPFest.com.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing and Air Conditioning. Need a new water heater? Call Bell Brothers. Need drain or sewer work? Call Bell Brothers. Need a free plumbing estimate? Call Bell Brothers. We don't guess at plumbing and drain problems. We use advanced camera inspections and diagnostics to identify the issues. We're fast, reliable, and respect your time by showing up when we say we will. Our technicians are all background checked, drug tested, and will leave the work area cleaner than they found it. The price we quote is the price you pay. We are the No Surprise guys, with more technicians, more trucks, and more experience. We get the job done right the first time. No surprises. Don't wait. Call Bell Brothers today for a free plumbing estimate or book online at NoSurpriseGuys.com. That's NoSurpriseGuys.com.
The high-pitched panic guy who says, "Are you serious right now? This is ridiculous!" is nothing new. That's why Big O is replacing car worries with great deals during our Big O Worry Less-a-thon. Now through June 22nd, buy 3, get 1 free on 4 select in-stock Big O branded tires with installation purchase. Plus, you'll get our ProTech Plus warranty for free to put future maintenance worries to rest. It's the Worry Less-a-thon, now at Big O, the team you trust. Installation required. Disposal fees and shop fees extra where permitted. See store for pricing. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers.
This summer, give your kids a reason to smile, brightly. At Kids Care Dental, we make dental visits fun with a kid-friendly team, easy to schedule appointments, and expert doctors who really care.
Whether it's a checkup, a cleaning, or their very first visit, we've got you covered. We accept most insurances, and we're always ready when your schedule gets hectic.
Smiles grow here. Book online in minutes at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com. Kids Care Dental, where healthy teeth make happy kids.
Hot summer savings explode at Maida's Elk Grove Chevy. Save $12,000 off MSRP after rebates. Every new 2025 Silverado half-ton LT and RST in stock. Maida Chevy has similar savings on every new Silverado. One of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $12,000 off new Silverado exclusively at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Just rated 2011 renewed. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Safe or out? It's time to go around baseball. 3 pitches, 3 swings. It's safe or out on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right, Chris. Apparently, it's time to play a little safe or out. Alan Stiles in for Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Before we get into safe or out, I think you've got a code word to give to our listeners.
That I do. 916-339-1140. Text line in this instance, and the call line. We can sneak in some calls. I love calls. Court is the secret word today. The secret code. Listen all day, all week to Sacktown Sports 1140 for the winning code words. And once you have it, text it into 916-339-1140 for your chance to win our signed Kings DeMar DeRozan jersey. Code words will continue to be given out all day long. But the code word for the Carmichael Dave Show and Jason Ross with Alan Stiles filling in, Court, C-O-U-R-T, Court, all caps. Send it on in. Chris, real quick, I know we have safe or out, but in the spirit of Carmichael Dave, I'm gonna derail us for just a hot second here because I think you're probably just used to that, and I want you to feel comfortable. Have you been in a spelling bee before?
I have.
How did you do?
It was weird because it was like a team spelling bee, so it was me and another student. And
Wait, what is this? Participation trophies?
No, we got second place. So it was one thing where we had to. It was like they'd give us the word, and we'd get it. We'd go like, "Is it like this? Is it like this?" Okay, yeah, and then we turn it around.
Do you remember which word got you out?
I think it was comedian.
Oh,
because they said this woman is a good comedian, but they meant comedian. They were saying comedian.
Yes.
But we wrote comedian, and we got out because of that.
Man, I'll never forget. I think I was in middle school, and I was out 7th. I got 7th place essentially, and it was cauliflower. This is a tough one. And Chris, I absolutely butchered it. And the craziest
part
with
an H?
No, the craziest part was I think I went C-O-L-L-I. And once they said that's incorrect, in my mind, I think I asked somebody, it was 1 L, wasn't it? Like, no, brother, you were not even close. All right, Chris, let's get into a little safe or out.
Giants face the Red Sox this weekend, less than a week after the Rafael Devers trade. Safe or out? Devers is going to have a big series against his former team.
I mean, that's easily safe, right? I mean, this is what it's all about. And I was watching Giants pregame. I think it was 2 days ago. Okay, the game that they lost with Verlander, and NBC Sports. Laura Britt says, "Oh, I had a conversation with NBC Boston." Now, obviously, it was pre-recorded. I don't know that they actually spoke in the conversational way that they make it off to be, because they essentially hand it over to NBC Sports Boston, and their host starts talking. Their host goes on to say Rafael Devers essentially didn't want to play third base, or he wanted to play third base and then wanted to play first base when people got hurt and he was DHing. Then Boston says, "Hey, Rafael," and I think he likes to be called Rafi. "Hey, Rafi, do you now want to play first base? Can we get you at first base or third base?" And they claimed on NBC Sports Boston that Rafi said, "Well, no, you didn't want to play me when people were hurt, so now I don't want to play now. I want to DH." That is not what we were hearing from some of the other media outlets and people. I was getting into it with some people who said, "Oh my goodness, They don't even have a deal with the Red Sox. Why would they be carrying water for the Red Sox? They're on, NESN. It's all connected. And it sounded like a very, and even if they're not connected to the Red Sox, it's all Boston, and Boston is very protective of their own, and he's no longer one of their own. So I don't know what happened out there. From everything that we've read, and the Red Sox, I don't know if you saw this, Chris, they're running interviews with AI bots and all this stuff. They're not. The more that we hear from Boston, the better Rafi looks. He's going off, and I'll give you this one, Chris. He's getting his first splash hit. Give me that.
Wow.
Give me that.
All right. Question number 2. Nick Kurtz hit another walk-off home run against the Astros last night. Safer out. Nights like last night make you forget about all the A's moving saga.
You're going to hate this, Chris. I know you are, but I'm going to say safe. I'm going to say safe. On the Alan Stiles Show, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. every Tuesday, we have third base coach for the Athletics, Eric Martins, and we had him on after the walk-off on Monday, and you got the lights flickering. You got Nick Kurtz, who, by the way, I don't know if kids still say swag. I think it's aura now or whatever it is, or Riz, whatever the kids say, but Nick Kurtz has it. And he's bat flipping. Yesterday, he does it again. Yeah, Chris, in that moment, I'm not thinking about John Fisher and whatever team he's selling. I know he sold the wrong team. I'm not thinking about any of that when Nick Kurtz is running around the bases with yet another walk-off.
All right. Rays pitcher Hunter Biggie was stretchered out of the game yesterday when he was hit by a 105-mile-per-hour Adley Rutschman foul ball to the face in the Rays dugout. Safer out. Baseball needs to do more to protect their players in the dugout.
I guess the next thing, it's weird because it doesn't happen often, but you'll see it happen. You know, when I'm at the River Cats games, and come check me out, I'm emceeing out there some of those games. It happens more often than you think. It's just how often does somebody actually get hit by a ball? But they'll send stuff in, especially with these dudes throwing 8,000 miles per hour. You know, you got to start a little early, and some of these guys don't. I guess the next thing would just be nets, but I can guarantee you there are a bunch of, I guess, get off my lawn baseball coaches and players and managers that would say, no, it is what it is. Hot coffee, keep your head on a swivel. Okay, and this can happen. Sometimes it's not about keeping your head on a swivel. There's just no time to react.
105 miles per hour. It was like boom, boom.
Yeah. So, you know, best wishes for him, and hopefully everything ends up okay. I guess the only thing is more netting. That's it. Just more netting.
Would you like that, or?
I mean, if it saves somebody from that situation? I mean, it's already scary enough. I think it might have been the Marlins about a month ago when the pitcher got hit in the head on a throwdown a second. You're already dealing with a lot of sketchy situations. How about just make it a bit safer? And again, this isn't a fan thing. You do it for the fans. They're on their phones all the time. But even with that said, the players as well, these guys, no disrespect to the fans, but these guys are worth a lot of money, right? These guys are worth millions of dollars, and it's guaranteed money, by the way. So why not protect them?
I also don't know their setup because they're also one of the minor league teams out there. Are they in a thing like the A's where there's no really place to go down into the clubhouse or anything like that?
Yeah, but you wouldn't be there anyway, right? When you're watching the game. I mean,
or even I guess I don't know.
Yeah, because even, I mean, obviously it's Little League, but in Little League or even just in high school, you don't get to those bigger benches until college, right? High school, most of them, maybe high school too, but you know, you got the fence when you're literally just fenced in. Yeah. It's a very narrow kind of dugout, and then you upgrade. But we're in 2025. You can make something that is aesthetically pleasing, but also keeps your $1 million players safe. How about that?
I think we fixed it.
There you go. That was safe or out, and I'm excited for Rafael Devers. The interleague play, I know people may think that it's there's a little too much of it, but I'll tell you this much: Giants, Red Sox. I got a buddy who's a Red Sox fan, and that's going to be out there at Oracle Park. that place is going to be packed. That place is going to be rocking. And I know it happens more often than it used to, but I still think it's an opportunity to combine two huge fan bases, two huge brands, and it's a more unique game than we typically see when the A's obviously were in Oakland, and even now that they're in Sacramento. Yeah, you're used to the Red Sox will come out once a year, and you would know that, right? So it's still fun, but you know what's going to happen. Now you don't necessarily know, and you can take advantage of it and have some fun there. So Safer Out will be a good time, and I think Rafael Devers, or Rafi Devers, is going to ball out against his former squad. When we return, the Lakers sell for the most money ever in the history of money, but is there something deeper to it? And Jeannie Buss finds another way to finesse the game. Lakers sale when we get back. Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter, right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, UC Davis, and Sac State with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SacktownSports.com to join.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month and experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number 4th of July sale. Save over $600 on our King P5 smart bed, our lowest price of the season. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Celebrate the baseball legacy of legendary Major League manager Dusty Baker on Friday, June 27th with the Sacramento River Cats. The first 2,500 fans will receive a bobblehead of Sacramento's own Dusty Baker. Enjoy an exciting baseball game and take home a piece of history with your very own Dusty bobblehead. It's a night packed with fun, baseball, and memories on Friday, June 27th, so don't wait. Grab your River Cats baseball tickets today before they're gone, only at rivercats.com.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip, if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our Giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
Call or text at 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
Alan Stiles filling in for Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross on this beautiful Friday. Christopher Laud behind the glass for us. And as per usual. And the secret code is court, by the way, that DeMar DeRozan. And the DeMar DeRozan jersey was in here. Boss Man gave it to me on Wednesday, and I left it for Draper. Okay, we were showing it for the YouTube. And I think in the morning it's called the Chat Mob in the YouTube. So we were showing it to the Chat Mob or the Sack Chat. That's what we call them from 10 to 2. And I told Draper, hey, I'm leaving this here on the chair. And I have no clue if Draper showed it. I have no clue if it got returned. I don't know where that jersey is, but it's somewhere.
Pretty sure the boss man's got it.
Okay, he's got it. It's a beautiful jersey. It's the black jersey, okay, with the purple trim and the signature, beautiful signature by DeMar DeRozan is on the 0, okay? That you obviously wears number 10, the 1, and the 0. It is on the 0 on the right side, just to give you a visual breakdown of that jersey. And it's beautiful, okay? And trust me, whether or not DeMar DeRozan will still be in a Kings jersey, that's coming up at 8 o'clock. Like I said, if you're just now joining us, I know some of you may just be getting up for work, or maybe you have the day off and you're just listening to the sweet sounds of my voice, or you're thinking, where the hell is Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross? I got a call yesterday from somebody very close to the situation, and I'm not doing a bit here. I got a call while I was pulling weeds, though. And we are going to talk about what that call entailed at 8 a.m. Well, the Lakers' sale entailed a lot of money. They sell.
This seems like a cash grab.
That is for sure. Here is the official breakdown. The Buss family is entering into an agreement to sell majority ownership of the Los Angeles Lakers to Mark Walter for a franchise valuation of approximately $10 billion, sources told ESPN on Wednesday, the highest ever for a U.S. professional sports franchise. But that does not mean that Jeannie Buss is going anywhere. This is from Ramona Shelburne. Important to note, Jeannie Buss will not only remain the Lakers' governor, but will continue to run the team for at least a number of years, according to sources with knowledge of the deal. In other words, it was guaranteed as part of the agreement that Jeannie Buss would remain in charge for the foreseeable future, and Mark Walter fully endorsed this plan, according to sources. Pat McAfee, he had on Shams, and Shams said, quote, the Buss family will have just over 15% of the minority share for a period of time. Jeannie Buss will stay on as the governor for a period of time after this sale. My understanding is that Jeannie Buss really drove this sale of the Lakers. So Jeannie Buss still gets to kind of do what she's been doing. And at the end of the day, she is also able to kind of control things for a bit more time. They sold majority ownership, like we said, for $10 billion, the highest valuation ever for a U.S. professional sports franchise. Jerry Buss purchased the Los Angeles Lakers in 1979 for just a measly $67.5 million. Since 1980, the Lakers have won 11 championships, the most by any NBA team during that span. And like we mentioned, Jeannie Buss will remain the Lakers governor and run the franchise for at least a number of years. This is how you do it, Chris. This is how you do it. I do wonder, though, and again, maybe I'm going a little bit Carmichael Dave, and that's kind of the running joke that Carmichael Dave and myself are pretty similar.
Very.
Pretty similar. I do wonder, though, are we numb to this because we're poor, right? I mean, do you see this and think, oh, my goodness, $10 billion? I saw this, and my takeaway was, yeah, my bills are due in like a month. You know what I mean? It's just, it's cool. And I feel like that sometimes when we talk about, I was looking this up as we're going to joke about some of these scrappy point guards, the Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard between TJ McConnell, Peyton Pritchard, and Ty Jerome. And I think it's TJ McConnell's making $11 million a year. $11 million. And I just feel like I'm getting to the point, Chris, where this is cool. And I saw somebody said, whoa, my goodness, if the Lakers sold for this, what are the Warriors going to sell? Because the Warriors own their arena and the Lakers don't. And I just thought, and it was obviously somebody in media, and I just thought, I don't really care.
Yeah, it upsets me because it's like, okay, you're worth all this money. You are getting billions just from television rights and stuff like that. You're making us pay $100, $200, $250 to go to a game. Why do you need the extra $20 beer prices?
Yeah.
$8, $9 a hot dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can we get a break somewhere?
No. And wasn't it the Phoenix Suns for everything that Mash Ishbia has gotten wrong? I distinctly remember, because Dave probably spent more time on this than he was supposed to, leading up to the season, Dave was so excited that the Phoenix Suns were doing the $1 hot dog popcorn thing, and I agree with Dave. I think that's great, but yeah, I see stuff like this, and I think it's a great story. Me personally, I'm more interested in, did Adam Silver force the trade to the Lakers in order to bump up that price tag, knowing that this impending sale was coming? That's what I want to know. Okay.
So Adam Silver pushed for the Lakers to get Luka Doncic, knowing that the sale was coming.
Yep.
So that would get a better price for the Buss family.
That's right. And I'll do you one better. Then he said, okay, Mavs, because you did this, you're going to get the number 1 pick, and we might be seeing the Mavs in Vegas in a couple years. No, I'm going all the way there, Chris.
Oh, man.
It's a Freaky Friday. No, it's a Freaky Friday. That is the real dark. Okay, back in college, when I would get caught up on the Illuminati stuff, I just spent hours looking at Illuminati stuff. All right, instead of doing my Age of the Dinosaurs homework, because a lot of those classes are kind of useless at the beginning of college anyway. Instead of doing my Age of Dinosaurs homework, I'd be looking up Kobe Bryant. Okay, his number was 24. 2 + 4 is 6. Okay, and you lead it all the way up there, Chris. Chris is saying, Alan, you are going full Carmichael Dave here on a Friday. So I don't know. I see this and I think, okay, cool, good for them. To that note about the Warriors, though, they better sell while Steph Curry's playing, because that valuation to me completely goes in the toilet when Steph Curry retires.
And you're seeing all these teams like selling big chunks of their team. I'm wondering if they're seeing like something dropping. Like,
that's a good point.
Television
Celtics.
money going away? Is there something that we're not seeing going to start to happen?
Yeah, Celtics. And to take it to the baseball realm, I know it's a bit different and kind of a different situation, but Tampa Bay, obviously Tampa Bay is leading towards a sale there as well. And somebody out there, and again, John Fisher looking to sell the rob Peter to pay Paul as far as the earthquakes are concerned. I know there's somebody out there in a green, and it might be Kyle Ledbetter, in a green T-shirt right now at 6:54 in the morning saying everybody's selling besides the guy that's supposed to be selling, and that guy is trying to sell the wrong team. Talking about the A's, formerly of Oakland, in Sacramento, heading to Las Vegas. ... We think. When we return, a little bit of 3 for Madness in the 7 o'clock hour, and we might get into this Caitlin Clark thing as well. It's just weird, man. Alan Stiles filling in for Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by California Sun.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. Getting out the door to the comfort of the Delta breeze. It's cool enough to have a layer ready to go. As we get into the afternoon, we'll have sunshine and a bright, breezy day ahead. Gusts occasionally over 25 miles per hour. Highs today in the low 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Free wellness, red light therapy, infrared trim pod, cold plunge, halotherapy, massage, cryotherapy, sunbeds, and more. All services all week, all customers free during Wellness Week at California Sun Wellness Spas. No sign-up required, walk-ins welcome. Free at all California Sun Wellness Spa locations starting this Monday. CaliforniaSun.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations, covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
We get it. Tariffs are tough. Power tools are getting expensive. But at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, we're solving that problem for 2 short days on June 20th and June 21st. We're putting all Milwaukee power tools on massive discounts. Tons of Milwaukee batteries and bare tools for less than $100. 25% off all regular price Milwaukee pack-out boxes and much, much more. So stop by Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento on June 20th and 21st for some of the lowest prices on tools you'll ever see this year. To see all of what's on sale, visit FastenersInc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, the way Nick Kurtz has been going, it's easy to forget that just over a year ago, he was finishing his college career at Wake Forest. Back-to-back game-winning home runs, including the 447-foot walk-off shot against the Astros to begin the most recent homestand, the longest walk-off for the A's since they began keeping track of those things 10 years ago. Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. It's how retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And it's how healthcare offices become data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests, Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Tickets and info at CITPFest.com.
KHD-KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. 3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
Alan Stiles here, filling in for Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross, 7 o'clock hour. We're about to get into this 3 for Madness. And look, I get it. We're going to get into 3 for Madness. I get it, man, because back in my day, before I got into this industry, the fill-in thing is tough. Humans are creatures of habit. You get your coffee, you turn on Carmichael Dave. He talks about buying his daughter an Easy Bake Oven and how he actually used it to make sourdough bread. That's what you're used to. So I really appreciate anybody out there that, you know, is listening right now, because I get it. At the 10 o'clock hour, when it's Charles Hamilton and Chris Watkins, people are going to say, well, where's Alan? Right? Maybe they're just waking up. So I understand the shock factor when you're not hearing your guys. And you know, obviously Jason Ross could have been filling in as well. These are the guys that took off work, man. Okay. Chris Verlade, he's here grinding. And to that question on the text line, 916-339-1140. No, I'm not working 8 hours straight.
Ooh, you didn't hear?
Excuse me?
You didn't hear?
Up to Carmichael Dave, I would. Up to Carmichael Dave and Kyle Draper, I'd be in here all day long. So I really appreciate everybody giving us a chance here. 10 a.m., 2 p.m. is my normal slot, filling in for Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross. All right, Chris, let's get into a little 3 for Madness.
After the Pacers' blowout of the Thunder last night, what can they take from the game to take the series and win their first NBA Finals?
Pray. That Jalen Williams again is a bit off, and you just continue to get nothing from Chet, and obviously the calf for Tyrese Halliburton, because that was just a classic Pacers game. So the takeaway is just play better. And I think I would say, if I'm all jokes aside, I think I would say Andrew Nembhard, you just have to fight through it, brother. And he's been terrible at shooting. Okay, he has been pretty terrible offensively, but last night he was aggressive to start the game off. He ends with 17, which feels like the most he's had, maybe not specifically in this series, maybe in the playoffs, but I would say Andrew Nembhard, you could be that X factor. We get it. You're working on Shea, and Nesmith is as well, but one of the Andrew Nesmith or Andrew Nembhard, I would say more specifically Andrew Nembhard, because they're kind of leaving Andrew Nembhard more. Andrew Nembhard, we need you to have a legacy game 7, because you're the guy right now that the Thunder, they feel like they have to live with. So I would say, Andrew Nembhard, you got to be that dude in game 7. What's number 2?
Question 2.
Okay, now that we know that, what do the Thunder need to do what do the Thunder need to avoid in a Game 7 to win their first NBA Finals in OKC?
I would say they need to avoid a close game. Look, and I know Shea has had a couple moments, but I think we have more on paper, even with Tyrese Halliburton in that calf. He's going to get a couple days off here. You have to come out, ride the wave of that crowd, and bury them early. And like we joked about, obviously the Pacers are going to go in there trying to keep it close. They're not going to say, yeah, come on, let's go down 30 and see what happens. But I just think if you're OKC, my whole thing with the home court conversation is that home court really matters to me in the first half, right? That first half, you ride the momentum and you just beat the brakes off the other team, and it's just an avalanche. If you're the other team and you can survive that avalanche, to me, it's a pick'em. So I would say if you're OKC, there's got to be a fast start. There's got to be a fast start. It was so funny yesterday hearing them bring up time and time again. And, OKC, they went up 10-2 early, as if that's an actual lead. OKC, they went up 10-2 early, and the Pacers never looked back. Yeah, it's not like it was 20-2. I'm talking about a real deal avalanche to where the Pacers are just, even the Pacers can't make that run. Exactly what the Thunder did the last time. Just carbon copy what they did the last time they were in Oklahoma City. Because if that thing is close, and I'm talking 15 or less, I've seen more from the Pacers than I've seen from the Thunder in those moments. Chris, what is number 3?
Question 3.
All right, super early prediction. Game 7. Who you got?
If I pick the Thunder, I would feel like I'm disrespecting the Pacers, because every time I think the Pacers are done, they make their way out of the dungeon and they're able to take care of business. You know what? But I also don't want to jinx the Pacers in a weird way, because I think you're going to try to...
Every single thing that every fan does at home or at the stadium makes a direct impact in the game.
I'm going to go Thunder. I just think that if Shea is going to be that dude, and I've talked about the star power and what's maybe missing for me when it comes to Shea and, who he is in this league, I think that Shea silenced the haters or the non-believers like me, and the Thunder take care of business. Or I would like for this to happen, Chris, because I like chaos. Jalen Williams goes off for 50, and they have to give Jalen Williams a Finals MVP.
Oh,
that's right. But I got the Thunder.
Do you think if the Pacers win, Halliburton's probably not getting the MVP, is he?
Well, it's got to be Pascal.
Yeah,
I'd have to double check the numbers.
Which would be very interesting.
I mean, it's the Steph Curry path, right? That's what he's doing. I mean, he's doing it at a much younger age, and people argue Steph's first ring, no Kyrie, no Kevin Love. So he would. But Steph was the MVP. I don't know what we would do with Tyrese Halliburton. I know LeBron was on record on his, I think it was the Mind the Game pod with Steve Nash, and talking about he doesn't understand ring culture, and everybody's talking about, yes, you do, LeBron. And here's PK Subban, who is going to talk about, why do I care what PK Subban has to say about the LeBron James, Michael Jordan ring conversation? But here's PK Subban on the 4-Letter Network to break down LeBron's comments on ring culture. I mean, are we talking about Wayne Gretzky? What's going on here? But I think if you get Tyrese Halliburton a ring and he doesn't win Finals MVP, honestly, it would be kind of apropos for who Tyrese Halliburton is right now. He's not the guy that's going to put up these crazy numbers. I think it says more about Pascal Siakam, who his three-pointer has gotten better, but he's very much an old school player. And we're going to get into the Kings rumors at the 8 o'clock hour, at the top of that hour. But the rumor from last season was, it wasn't that Pascal Siakam didn't like Sacramento. It's beautiful this time of year. It was that he didn't think he could play with Domantas Sabonis as far as stretching the floor, things like that. And I think he was kind of on to something when I watched him with Miles Turner, and they probably need to upgrade from Miles Turner. But, yeah, Pascal Siakam, he likes to be in the paint a decent bit, and his three-pointer has gotten better. But I think it says more about Pascal Siakam. And really, Chris, could this be considered the rebirth of the paint and the mid-range between Shea? And if Pascal Siakam wins the whole thing, or if Shea wins the whole thing, neither of them, I mean, Shea does more than Pascal, but neither of them chuck up a bunch of threes. I mean, these guys are living in the paint pretty good here. Well, Shea's at the free throw line, but they're living in the paint pretty good here.
Yeah. That's the thing, too, is it seems like whenever there's like one champion, everyone, the idea is just like, okay, the entire league needs to be exactly like this team.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Did you see what Oklahoma City did? All right, everybody, get rid of everybody. You really want to suck for the next 3 years to get as many picks as possible, and then you could be the next Oklahoma City Thunder.
It's the blueprint thing. And first it was, what was it? The last couple years, it was the Nuggets blueprint, and the Kings are following because you had Jordy Fernandez coming over. The Kings need to follow the Nuggets blueprint. And now we have the Nuggets, because nobody's talking about the Nuggets blueprint. They fired their coach, no class, no balls. They fired their coach. Now we're talking about the Pacers blueprint and Oklahoma City blueprint and the Rockets blueprint. And those are three completely different blueprints, by the way. You could argue the Thunder and the Rockets are similar, but the Thunder, honestly, the Thunder blueprint, I wouldn't even argue is typical, because the Thunder, and I know Sam Presti is a heck of a GM, but they didn't know Shea was going to be this. I think they hoped that he would be some of this. These blueprints all have something that nobody saw coming, right? Maybe you're taking that gamble because of it, but the Nuggets blueprint, Jokic was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial. They did not see that coming. The Thunder blueprint, yeah, they made some of the right moves, but Shea nobody saw him being a top 3 player in the game. I would argue the only blueprint that you could say is quite typical, and they haven't won anything yet or gotten to a finals, is maybe the Rockets blueprint, where now you can cash in some of those chips to get your closer, which may be DeMar DeRozan. Hang on for the top of the hour, 8 o'clock. Now you try to make that next step. But some of these blueprints, the Pacers blueprint, Tyrese Halliburton, it depends on the day what we think Tyrese Halliburton is. And honestly, we're all going to talk about the Pacers blueprint. We did an exercise on the Alan Stiles show, and Kyle Ledbetter basically broke down, what if the Beam team was playing this season? And before you freak out, we did say that they probably go, I think it was based on the numbers, they would have went to game 7 against the Cavs and most likely lost. They damn sure weren't beating the Knicks, because I've been out here for 2 years and the Kings have not beat the Knicks once. But they would have at least gone a little bit further. And the reason we did that exercise is because we're all talking about the Pacers blueprint, and we don't want to disrespect the Pacers, but they haven't faced a healthy Bucks team in 2 years. Okay, they played a Cavs team. There was a game where the Cavs were missing 3 of their 8 rotation players. So we can all follow the Pacers blueprint, but what we also looked at is, and I'm not going to talk about Mike Brown. I know, we're not going into Flashback Friday mobile, but if you look at the winning percentage between the Kings, I think it was the Kings prior, or either post or prior to Luka flopping on Malik's legs at the end of 2 seasons ago, and the Pacers, since they've made the trade, the winning percentages are actually similar. One team's in the East, one team's in the West, one team has had some breaks. I think Tyrese Halliburton is probably better than De'Aaron by now, but it's not as different as you think. But now it's the Pacers. The Pacers, they had the plan, and now we have to follow that blueprint. They also were fortunate. I won't say the L word, but they've also been a bit fortunate there as well.
Well, I'm just talking about this bigger picture too, is whenever NBA says there is a blueprint to do something, it's wrong. Because when the Warriors were coming up and they started making the playoffs, you'd have people like Charles Barkley saying like, you can't win this way. You can't win on just offense. You need to be able to stop people. This team can't do it. They're going to score 150 points and lose 160. This is not the way you build a team. And then 3 years later, after those championships, everyone's looking for 3-point shooters and really moving the ball. And that's the blueprint. So someone will find, there'll be a player that comes out of the draft this year that no one's expecting that like, whoa, this is the guy that you need to get. And then everyone's going to try and follow, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, every time. And in football, Kyle kind of jokes about, this is I call them guys that are going to get GMs fired. And Kyle's guy that's going to get it. He said Anthony Richardson is going to get that GM fired. And Anthony Richardson is currently battling with Daniel Jones for a starting role. Kyle's newest, this guy's going to get somebody fired. Jalen Milroe. Okay, out there in Seattle. This guy, but the difference is Jalen Milroe wasn't a top pick, so maybe he won't get somebody fired the same way. I look at the draft, and like I said, 8 o'clock, we also have updates on how bad the Kings want to get into the first round of the 2025 draft. And I look at it now, and now we're still doing the Steph Curry disciple thing. I thought we stopped doing the Steph Curry disciple thing when, Trae Young is very good, but he is not Steph Curry. And he's getting paid like it too. Trae Young is very good, but he ain't Steph Curry. We did that. We did the thing with Trae Young. We kind of did the thing with Buddy Hield, okay? He wasn't supposed to be Steph, but he's a 3-point shooter. And Walter Clayton Jr. now is the guy that's going to get drafted in the 20s that Kings fans want, that you never watched him before March Madness. But no. You know what it is? This is what my dad does, right? My dad doesn't really follow sports like that, but he'll watch the big events. He's a big Walter Clayton Jr. guy. Alan, I saw this guy. He was also a big Johnny Manziel guy.
Ooh.
Alan, these highlight tapes, Raiders need to go get him.
He's a winner.
He's a winner. And I'm not saying Walter Clayton Jr. is not going to be good or not, but to your point, I call them disciples, okay, or descendants. These descendants or disciples of these great players, you don't know what you're going to get, and they're probably not going to be anything of that. Now you can make the argument, if somebody is 70% of Steph Curry, they might even be a Hall of Famer, but you're not going to get that, and people keep trying to do it. There have been so many kind of Paul George variants drafted, and this guy, the Ben Simmons, was supposed to be the LeBron James. I love, Chris, that Colin Cowherd. I think I reference it maybe once every 2 weeks. The Colin Cowherd clip when Ben Simmons was Ben Simmons.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, LeBron, we're good. We're good here.
Take a back seat.
We're good here, LeBron. There's a kid out in Philly, Ben Simmons. We're good here, LeBron. So, look, I'd love for the Kings to get into the first round, and I'm doing it too. My guy in the draft, Grant Nelson, 6'11", out of Bama. Okay, can handle the rock a little bit. People are calling him kind of generic brand Cooper Flag, and maybe that's what he is. But I'm taking a flyer on size. That's just what it is. Ayo. And the other thing is this point guard conversation that we've been having time and time again, and people are saying, how in the world are we sitting here talking about point guards again? How are we talking about it? I think we're doing the seesaw is going a little bit too far in the direction of a point guard. I don't think that you need to move up in the draft. And like I said, I'm talking real close to the source here as far as whether or not the Kings will move up. Do the Kings need to move up and get a point guard? You better love him, because the Timberwolves, they go up in last year's draft, which was supposed to be a pretty, bad draft. They go get Rob Dillingham. Rob Dillingham never played. He never played. They moved up. They drafted him 8. They never played. And you know what? If they get back into this Kevin Durant conversation, they're trading him expeditiously. So you better love somebody if you're giving up future assets. And I think that's where we're at with the Kings, to just give you a little Costco free sample. They're trying to figure out if there's anybody they love enough to do that. Chris, I wanted to move things over here because I got to talk about it a little bit on, what was that, Wednesday, but just wanted to spin the block on it. And in a couple minutes here, about 10 minutes, we'll talk about this Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard conversation with Ty Jerome, TJ McConnell, and Peyton Pritchard. Who would you want on the Kings? There's a Bleacher Report article about one of them. The Caitlin Clark thing is weird, man. It's weird. And I think it's gone past the welcome to the league stuff. We talked, Chris, about $10 billion and the Lakers. There's just a level, and when I joked about, man, I got in my car and Allen is filling in for Carmichael Dave. Screw Allen. I can't stand him. But Bomani Jones was one of those guys where I would listen to his show, and Bomani would talk about hustling backwards. And I think the WNBA right now, there is a balance. And look, I'm not saying to just let her score 50 a game, and she was ice cold last night in the Bay against the Valkyries, but it's getting a little bit out of hand with the welcome to the league stuff, to where it's, yeah, and I don't know what that balance looks like, but there is a level of, yeah, we want to show that we're going to treat you the same way, and Michael Jordan went through it. We get all that, but also don't mess up your money. If you're in the WNBA, don't mess up your money. Caitlin Clark is about to change your life, and that's okay. Okay, and I get it. Hey, well, I want to be the one to do it, or we don't need her. Yeah, you do, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to be able to find a balance where you're not just letting her waltz and do whatever she wants. And I get it. Caitlin Clark, she kind of does have the Steph Curry thing where I think she'd be saying some slick stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think she is, when the ref is there, she's hands off. I think she is good at getting under your skin, and I think that's great for the game. But you can't be messing up your money, man. That's all. I just stop messing up your money if you're the WNBA.
I've got to be honest. I think it's the opposite. I think we were talking about the WNBA how much because of what happened the other night.
Yeah.
It was on everything. It was on sports. And they were showing it's just like, whoa, look at this. Right. And I get it. You don't want her hurt.
Yes.
And I think what's crazy is what people were complaining now is what they're saying is missing from the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, come on. When someone's coming down the lane, just like put them on their butt. And now it's like, oh, that's what it used to be. But LeBron James, you just look at him the wrong way and he's going to the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? Like, I do understand like not getting dirty, but this, okay, you're going to push my teammate down. And then Sophie Cunningham's going to come like, you know what? I'm going to get you in the end. And I'm going to make other teams think about doing this to her. I don't have that big of a problem with it.
Yeah.
As long as you're not injuring someone.
But that's what I'm saying. That initial push, I mean, Caitlin, in my opinion, was not flopping. When Mabry came over,
she got knocked down.
She got knocked the bleep out. And that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. The Sophie Cunningham stuff, I think a lot of people enjoyed watching the Sophie Cunningham stuff. But the Mabry shove, that's the type of stuff where, look, man, the reality is we watched what happened to the numbers when Caitlin Clark was not playing. We watched the numbers, but nobody watched the games. That's just the reality. So like I said, and that to me was completely uncalled for. Yes, Caitlin is flopping a little bit. They all do it. I think it's a great point what you bring up, Chris, and me hashtag being a girl dad. Yeah, there's a little bit of.
You love that.
Well, I got to do it. Yeah, there's a little bit of what you like to see from some and what you like to see from others. But if it's within the bounds, and to me, the Mabry thing just wasn't it was completely unnecessary. Caitlin, let's say she rolls her ankle, and again, within the game, cool. I hear you. The Sophie Cunningham stuff, please, more of it. But you cannot hurt your cash cow. That's where I'm at with it. So I wanted to speak on that because, all of the out of bounds, weird RG3, Ryan Clark, here's my child, my interracial child that no one, that type of stuff is nobody enough. I saw one thing where it said, so let me get this straight. Caitlin Clark committed a flagrant foul 3 weeks ago on Angel Reese. And here we are about a month later, and somehow we're talking about Ryan Clark's first child, first daughter with someone who is not his. How did we get here? Like that type of stuff, I completely agree. less of that. Nobody cares, Ryan Clark. We don't need a think piece on everything you say. Just put Ryan Clark and Emmanuel Acho in a room and just and clog your ears, because Emmanuel Acho, by the way, he was the one talking about the Tyrese Halliburton being selfish thing. So look, less of that. To your point, though, Chris, more of the let's get gritty, let's get a little bit grimy. I'm just saying, don't mess up the money. Don't mess up the money. That's all I'm saying. In the next segment here, we will look at an article from Eric Pincus of Bleacher Report, who thinks one of Ty Jerome, TJ McConnell, or Peyton Pritchard could end up with the Sacramento Kings. Is that what we need? Who are you most willing to take a chance on? Let's open up the phone lines, 916-339-1140. Alan Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. Getting out the door to the comfort of the Delta breeze. It's cool enough to have a layer ready to go. As we get into the afternoon, we'll have sunshine and a bright, breezy day ahead. Gusts occasionally over 25 miles per hour. Highs today in the low 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
The Roseville Auto Mall is Northern California's ultimate destination when looking for your next vehicle. Find the largest selection with 20 top brands. And don't forget Dad this Father's Day or that grad in your life. We've got you covered at the Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Oh, I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Right now, get a $15 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select AC Pro refrigerant products at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed the musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
530 says, dang, woke up from, I don't know if I can say what they said. We'll be safe here. I usually use Dave as a barometer, and Dave's not in. Alan Stiles in for Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross. Yeah, they're both off separately. So I am filling in, and Charles Hamilton and Chris Watkins filling in for me 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And 530 says, dang, woke up from, let's say, having a lot of fun at the fair, turned on my radio, and high energy Alan woke me right up. Ha ha. Shout out to the 530. I can't wait to get to the fair. And speaking of the fair.
Wait, which fair did he go to?
I don't know if they went to the, it must have been Alameda. Must have been Alameda County Fair. Shout out to the Alameda County Fair. That was my go-to when I was still living in the Bay out there in Alameda. But speaking of the fair out here, and I'll be here, by the way, one of these days. I'm already upset that I'm going to miss out. Well, let me say this. Ludacris already sold out. So I'm trying to flex some muscle here, okay, and get into the Ludacris show, even though it's sold out. So I'm working with the sales down. So can you get me something? You know, I'll do some work. I'll MC something, but my wife really wants to go. It's Luda. She really wants to go. So how can we make that happen? But speaking of the state fair, which I'll be there either way. I don't know if I'll get to see Luda. Win a family 4-pack of tickets to the California State Fair happening on July 11th through July 27th. Enjoy with your family at the 2025 California State Fair out Cal Expo happening July 11th through the 27th. We're looking for caller number
4.
I was going to say that too, Chris. Caller number 4. Hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now to win a 4-pack of tickets to the fair. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. Early bird gets the worm on this Friday. We're giving away those tickets right now to caller number 4. 530 says the Sutter County Fair in Yuba City. Somewhere out there. Frankie might have been there. You know, that's his area.
Definitely some Carticelli's made the track.
That's right.
But is that the only thing that we're giving away today?
That isn't the only thing we're giving away. We're also giving you a chance to win that DeMar DeRozan jersey. Okay, the secret code is COURT, and you're not calling in for that. You're texting in for that. Same number, 916-339-1140, COURT, COURT on the text line. Your number will be recorded. When you text in, you will get thrown into a pile, and you might be that lucky number to win that signed DeMar DeRozan jersey. Looks like Chris, just FYI, looks like Chris found his winner for those state fair tickets. Maybe I will see you at the Ludacris concert, okay? Because I need to see him. I need to see him do Roll Out. I was kind of surprised that the tickets sold out already. My wife said, Alan, you're kind of sleeping on Luda. And I said, I would never sleep on Luda. I just didn't really know, and maybe it's a smaller venue, but I just didn't know Luda still had pull like that. I thought I was excited, but I'm assuming it's a lot of millennials and you know, Gen Xers that are going to be up in there. And millennials, it's a large group, but I can't see a bunch of Gen Zers saying, let's go see Ludacris. And yeah, that's my Gen Z voice. As we get into this Bleacher Report article, Chris is handling the winner. So shout out to the winner. This is a pretty interesting article from Eric Pincus. 2025 NBA free agency big board and landing spot predictions. So basically he has them ranked, okay, and then he has where he thinks they will end up. So at number 19, he has Ty Jerome, all right? And he has Ty Jerome, and he believes that Ty Jerome, the prediction is that the Sacramento Kings will sign Ty Jerome. They need a starting capable guard who can also come off the bench. Here's the write-up. The Cavs need to make several difficult decisions this summer. Ty Jerome was an integral part of the team's regular season success. Unfortunately, the group underperformed in the postseason. A lot could be attributed to health, but Jerome couldn't fill in enough of the cracks as Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell were dealing with different injuries. After Mobley won Defensive Player of the Year, his salary jumped to 30% of the cap, and Cleveland has one of the heaviest payrolls in the league. That's before considering Jerome, who will seek as much of a raise as he can muster. So the difference between Ty Jerome, TJ McConnell, and Peyton Pritchard is obviously that TJ McConnell and Peyton Pritchard, they are under contract, and Ty Jerome is not. This is what scares me about Ty Jerome, okay? And it's very simple. It's the same reason I am afraid of certain other players throughout the league where, okay, seems like they're balling out. What do we want to do next? Malik Beasley's another guy, right? Everybody wants to trade for Malik Beasley. And as we talked about blueprints and zigging when everybody else is zagging, I'm looking at Ty Jerome and what he's done in his career. All right. He is 27 years old. So he's in the heart of he's getting right into his prime, right? Maybe not the heart of his prime, but he's getting right into his prime. He was taken in the first round, obviously was very accomplished at University of Virginia, and we get all that. But I look at what he's done so far, okay? And you can look at this two ways. You can look at this and say he took a leap, or you can look at this and say he had a hot season, right? It's a one-off because he's been in the league since 2020, all right? In 2021, when he was 23, he played 33 games and he averaged 10 points a game. He did play 23 minutes per game, but he only played 33 games and he averaged 10. Besides that, he never eclipsed. He's never eclipsed 50 games played in his career besides last season. So in 2022 with OKC, he played 48 games, averaged 7 points. In 2023, he was 25 years old. With the Golden State Warriors, he played 45 games, 6.9 points. Then with the Cavs, last season he played 2 games, and this season he plays 70 games, 20 minutes a game, 12.5 points per game, okay? He shoots 3.6 threes a game at 43%, all right? He was in the conversation of sixth man of the year. He balls out. So at 27, and we saw some of this with Malik Monk, but Malik Monk was a bit younger. At 27, do we think that Ty Jerome has just taken a leap, or did he have a hot season? And this is no disrespect to Ty Jerome. To me, I am more so in the camp of hot season. Now, again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go get Ty Jerome, but is Ty Jerome actually better than Tyus Jones, who you could probably get for the minimum, when Ty Jerome is going to be looking for somebody to cash him out based on what he just did? Or do you go with the Tyus Jones where we kind of know what he is and maybe he's still looking to do the Ty Jerome thing? And in my opinion, maybe I'm a bit skewed because I watched a lot of Ty Jerome with the Warriors that season. I'm more in the camp, and we saw some of this in the playoffs, and nobody's asking Ty Jerome to be Darius Garland. We get all that. Darius Garland was an all-star. But I am afraid of being the team that bags out the player after a hot season. Like I said, you look at what he's done. He never got to 50 games in his career. Never got to 49 games. If we're being technical, he played 48 in 2022. That was the most prior to this season. And then he plays 70 games at 27 years old and career highs across the board. Is that the new Ty Jerome? Did he take a leap? Or did he have a hot season and he had no expectations and the Cavs really just had a hot season in general? And who is he going to be next season? If I'm the Kings, that's not the guy I'm taking a chance on. I would much rather, and we'll see what happens with Schroeder. And it's not that I think that Ty Jerome isn't as good as these guys, but I think that, and we'll look at the numbers here because maybe Ty Jerome and Schroeder won't be as different as maybe we think. I know Tyus Jones will be cheaper than both of them, and you got Trey Jones, Tyus' brother, running around there somewhere too. But I can't be the team that has that sees the one-off season if I'm the Kings versus everything else we've seen from Ty Jerome in his career and say, okay, great job. Now you get bagged out, and now we believe in you. I got to see more. Give me 2 years, right? If it was 2 years, 50-plus games with similar numbers, I would be Malik Monk thing is different because he was playing a bit better in LA. And yes, with the MLE and the different options that the Kings have, we're not talking about a crazy amount of money here for Ty Jerome, but I just feel like I'd like to see a bit more. That's my whole thing with Ty Jerome. And as far as ranking them, and I have their contracts too, their stats and their contracts, TJ McConnell, who is under contract. TJ McConnell signed 4 years, $45 million. So TJ McConnell, he might be now the best value. I don't know about in the NBA, but TJ McConnell next season gets 10.2. Then it goes up. He's 33 years old, or he'll be 33 in that year. Then he gets 11. Then he gets 11.8. Then there's a club option for 11.8. The Pacers, they're not moving him. There's no reason to move him. And Peyton Pritchard as well. Peyton Pritchard making a bit more money, but I think Peyton Pritchard might not be making as much. Peyton Pritchard's only making $6 million, $7 million, $7 million, $8 million. So the Celtics, there's no way they're moving him. So out of that Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, even if Ty Jerome is that Charizard, he's also the only one available. I would probably stay away from him simply because we just saw one hot season, and I'm not completely sure that that's who Ty Jerome is. When we return, speaking of the Celtics, I'm still confused on the value of Jaylen Brown and Derek White, but apparently other teams aren't. Alan Stiles filling in for Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross, Sacramento Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Hello, I'm Frank Cock with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. Could a slow spring in residential real estate sales mean that lower home prices may be coming? For many years, the issue with residential real estate was the lack of inventory, with buyers outnumbering sellers. Treating a low mortgage rate for today's higher rates and prices could be a deterrent. This is sometimes called the lock-in effect. Home prices have increased by over 20% since 2021. 63% of prospective buyers state that mortgage rates currently at 6.89% would have to drop below 5% for them to consider buying a home. Sellers are currently outpacing buyers at the highest level since 2013. Redfin is actually predicting a 1% drop in home prices in 2025. This could mean that a buyer with means to cover a higher mortgage could marry the home, but date the mortgage, waiting for lower rates to refinance and lower their payment in later years. These buyers may be able to dictate terms to the seller, allowing them to get into the home of their dreams with a potential drop in monthly costs in the coming years. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. Our ability to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Mosaic Wealth, member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the giant summer sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number 4th of July sale. Save over $600 on our King P5 smart bed, our lowest price of the season. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. Try the TrackMan experience, the very best technology to fit your metalwoods and irons. The new cutting-edge putter fitting studio with its $30,000 worth of technology is ready for your fitting. Hagen Oaks will help you find the best putter for your game. Hagen Oaks offers more technology, more choices, and more service. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531, 808-2531 for more.
Around here, the summer can smack you silly, especially if your AC is not functioning at a high level. Whitey Gleason here. I had the opposite problem over the winter. System went down. It was panic time, but Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating saved the day. Let them save you from unnecessary summer misery. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, reliable, trustworthy. They do great work. They've won awards for their service. Check the reviews at leesair.com. Find out about their $99 HVAC tune-up service. Save your summer now. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating on the web at leesair.com. License number 635355.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross out today. Alan Stiles filling in from the Alan Stiles Show. Charles Hamilton and Chris Watkins will be filling in for me. No, I will not be working 8 hours straight. I would if they would let me. I would if they would pay me. They double it up. I would be here. I say, babe, I'll be done at the same time anyway.
Let me see who I need to talk to.
I'd be done at the same time anyway. And look, speaking of,
how do you feel about that? So have you've done the morning show before?
I have.
So leaving earlier, how does that? Do you feel like you have an entire day to go?
I think it's great.
Okay.
I'm gonna just say it. I can't. When Carmichael Dave keeps doing the, I don't know. We'll see. This could be my last contract. I'm just sitting here, just tapping my wrist, saying, "When, Dave? When, Dave?" Because I would love to be done at 10 a.m. Waking up is a little rough. Don't get me wrong, but come on, Dave. Hey, and anytime now. I'm just kidding. I'm half kidding, but I really don't mind it, and I do like having the whole day to do whatever I want. So
you're lucky here because it's a Friday, so you don't have to worry about it. But the times are tough if it's during the week when you have to keep doing it over and over, because you go like, okay, I'm out of here. I'll get out of here like 12:31.
Right.
It's like, oh, I've got time to do like plenty of stuff, but then it's like get to 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Got to start preparing for tomorrow.
That's true. Last night, I didn't really change that much of my routine. I just woke up earlier today, but I could see it catching up with you. And obviously, you guys are a well-oiled machine here in the morning show. So thank you for letting me crash. And speaking of, somebody crashed my weed pulling yesterday on our day off. And the information was legit. Let me just tell you that much. And 8 o'clock, I got a call from a source very, very, very close to the Kings organization, just wanting to have a little chat about some of the things that has been said on social media, either by myself or by others. And we have some clarity to provide for you at 8 o'clock in about 10 minutes as far as the Kings, DeMar DeRozan, the conversations that have been had between the Kings and the Heat. Yeah, like real deal phone conversations that have happened, and also some updates on some of the rumors surrounding the first round situation and how badly do the Kings want to get in to the first round. So that's coming up in about 10 minutes. You don't want to move, and then we'll open up the phone lines 916-339-1140 for everyone to kind of hop in and give their thoughts on it. Also, the text line is always open, and the word is Court, COURT. If you want a chance to win that signed Sacramento Kings DeMar DeRozan jersey, text that in. Your number will be put into the system. If you've been listening all week and you've had all of the words, you have an even better chance. But if you're just now listening today, you can still hop in and your name will get thrown into the system as well, with a chance to win that jersey. And it's it's not any of the, the random jerseys. It's the black with the purple trim and the white letters. It's nice. Trust me, it is nice. And keep listening. The jersey will probably make its way back into the studio. If you're listening on YouTube, shout out to the chat mob, and you might be able to see a video of it. We probably should get that on social media too, Chris. I'm going to talk to somebody, see if I can model that for everybody. And be sure to follow us on Instagram and X. I guess I still like calling it Twitter. The conversation now, and what I saw on X and or Twitter, is that Shams is saying teams are throwing crazy offers at Jaylen Brown and Derek White, as the Celtics, again, one of those blueprints, or a team that we kind of just didn't count as a blueprint simply because they have a ton of money. They also recently sold, but a ton of money, big market, and all they have to walk away with is one championship. And obviously that's one championship. But when the Celtics built, and they're not done per se, but when the Celtics built this thing, I think we all believed that they would be running the show in the East for a very long time. I joke all the time. I don't know if Joe Mazzulla is a great coach. I just know that he's not a bad coach, right? And he's, kind of off the wall a little bit, and people like that. It's endearing, if you will, but I just don't know what the Celtics are. Jason Tatum, everybody, when we bring up the Achilles conversation, and not that it would be messed up to shop Jason Tatum, and I honestly don't know what his value is, but when we bring up the Achilles conversation, there aren't a lot of names. There really aren't. You bring up the Achilles conversation, and it's Kobe, and obviously Kobe was, clearly different when he returned. Kevin Durant has put up numbers, but he's also missed time. And Klay Thompson hasn't been Klay Thompson. So there's not a ton of success stories when it comes to Achilles. So I don't really know what the Celtics are supposed to do. And obviously, Jason Tatum, is not an elder statesman. You got the Dame situation. I don't know what the Bucks do there. They're just happy that Giannis wants to stay in Milwaukee, or it seems as if Giannis wants to stay in Milwaukee. But as far as Jaylen Brown and Derek White are concerned, and maybe I'm completely way off on this, I'm not really sure what Jaylen Brown is still. I know he's the finals or the reigning finals MVP, but Jaylen Brown, before they signed Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown he dribbles with one hand still, okay? He is getting paid $53 million going into next season, then 57, then 61, then $64.9 million. And he's the type of guy, I had this conversation earlier this week. If you replace DeMar DeRozan, if you're paying this guy this money, okay, put Jaylen Brown on the Kings this past season. Do they get to the playoffs? Do they get to the playoffs in the West? If you replace Jaylen Brown with you replace DeMar DeRozan with Jaylen Brown this past season, and let's just say, right, let's not do the De'Aaron Fox thing. Let's say with Zach LaVine. Or you could do it right now. Going into next season, just whatever, close your eyes, doesn't matter. Not if you're driving, close your eyes, just swap out. Who cares? Just hang with me. Who cares about contracts? Just swap out Jaylen Brown and DeMar DeRozan right now. How confident are you that the Kings are making the playoffs? You'd have Jaylen Brown, a top, 30 player, Domantas Sabonis, and Zach LaVine. That's a ton of money, but you're paying that type of money to Jaylen Brown, and I have no clue if anybody is scared of that big three. And maybe that says more about Domantas Sabonis. I don't know. But if you're going to pay a guy that type of money, you would think that he is a complete game changer. A complete game changer. And I still don't know if Jaylen Brown is that. He's just a highly, highly, highly paid number two, which is cool, but I don't know that he can be a number one on another team. Maybe I will be proven wrong if somebody goes out and gets him, but you could put him on, like I said, right here. This is what you're paying for. 63 games this past season, 22.2 points per game, 5.8 rebounds per game, 4.5 assists per game, 46% from the field, 32% from three. Okay, he shoots it at 35.9 for his career, but this past season, 32.4% from three, 76% from the free throw line. You're paying this guy $60 million a year, and I have no clue what Jaylen Brown is. So maybe my value is off. Shams is saying, and we know how Shams kind of works, but Shams is saying crazy offers are coming in for Jaylen Brown and Derek White. Derek White, I think, is probably slightly overpaid, but I almost would be more willing to pay Derek White because we know what he is, and you're not paying him that much. But if they said, okay, Kings have enough, you can just take on the contract and just give us DeMar DeRozan, whatever it is, I don't know that I want to pay Jaylen Brown high 50s up to 60, goes from 53 to 57 to 61 to 64. And I have no clue if Jaylen Brown, Zach LaVine, and Domantas Sabonis are good enough to make the playoffs in the West. I feel like they could, but for what I'm paying, that should be a guarantee. So I don't know what to make of Jaylen Brown. Derek White is another guy that obviously is making a decent bit of money. I think that, he's been helped a little bit, and he's helped the Celtics, but also it has been helped in being a third, fourth option. Is he a number two for you? Because $30 million, that's close to a number two. So maybe I'm missing the mark here, but apparently people are willing to pay, and I can't pay that type of money to Jaylen Brown or to anybody unless I can guarantee a playoff run. And this ain't the West. Or excuse me, this ain't the East. This is the West. Next up, the call from the source. We break down the call that I got yesterday while I was picking weeds that gives a little bit, I should say a lot of clarity to all of the Kings rumors. Alan Stiles filling in for Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, athletics, and Republic FC with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit sacktownsports.com to join.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm Tara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. Getting out the door to the comfort of the Delta breeze. It's cool enough to have a layer ready to go. As we get into the afternoon, we'll have sunshine and a bright, breezy day ahead. Gusts occasionally over 25 miles per hour. Highs today in the low 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Roseville Auto Mall is Northern California's ultimate destination when looking for your next vehicle. Find the largest selection with 20 top brands. And don't forget Dad this Father's Day or that grad in your life. We've got you covered at the Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
We get it. Tariffs are tough. Power tools are getting expensive. But at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, we're solving that problem for 2 short days on June 20th and June 21st. We're putting all DeWalt power tools on massive discount. Batteries for less than $100. Combo kits for under $150. 20% off all regular price Tough System boxes and much, much more. So stop by Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento on June 20th and 21st for some of the lowest prices on tools you'll ever see this year. To see all of what's on sale, visit FastenersInc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices. Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests, Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Hoblet Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Tickets and info at CITPFest.com.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD 1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Halfway through the show, Alan Stiles filling in for Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross. Still got Chris Berlad behind the glass for some sense of normalcy. They'll be back on Monday. You got Charles Hamilton, Chuck Hamilton, and Chris Watkins filling in for me from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the Alan Stiles Show. So just bumped me up and added them. And then you have the Drive guys, of course, coming up at 2 p.m. But it is 8 a.m. now, and the teas will be paid off right now. So basically, let me lay out the situation for you, because there's been a lot of conversations about rumors and DeMar DeRozan and going to the Heat, and maybe he could be that second place if you miss out on Kevin Durant. And these conversations have been had, and what's going to happen. And the Kings are looking to be aggressive to get into the first round. So I did some digging, like I said. Well, literally, as I'm picking weeds, but I did some digging. I got a call back yesterday morning as I'm getting ready to, do my dad duty and make sure HOA stays off my back. So as I'm getting ready, I get a call from somebody very, very close in the Kings organization. Okay, and I have these notes that I broke down from the call, and I'm going to share them with you right now. The first note that I have is probably the least exciting note, that they are still being patient just in general, but looking at options. And I said this a couple days ago, just as far as the idea of the Kings running it back might not be sexy. Let me rephrase that. It is not sexy at all. But if I'm Scott Perry, I look at this like a college coach that just joins a new school. These aren't my recruits. Let's see what they can do, and I'm going to assess the situation. Now, we know that Scott Perry, he'll blow some stuff up, right? He will overhaul things, but that doesn't mean it has to happen immediately. Doesn't mean it has to happen right now, and it might not happen this upcoming season, or it might not happen this off season. Let me say it like that. So the first thing is that, typical statements being said here. The Kings are still being patient, but looking at options. Now let's get to some of the meat and potatoes. No, as of 8:04 a.m., or rather, as of 9 a.m., when I got that call, right, between 7 and 9, I'll check my call log after this. Between 7 and 9 a.m. yesterday on Juneteenth, some people had it off. We did as well. No DeMar DeRozan convo has happened with the Miami Heat. Let me say that again. No DeMar DeRozan convo has happened with the Miami Heat. And I obviously can't tell you where I got this information, but it's someone very close to the situation that would know. Very close to the situation that would know. No, now let me say it like this. No DeMar DeRozan conversation has happened with the Heat yet. But convos have happened with the Miami Heat. No DeMar DeRozan convo has happened with the Heat as of yesterday around 9 a.m., but convos have happened with the Miami Heat. I can 100% tell you that much. And the last thing I have from these notes, the Kings, as far as getting into the first round, I believe that was Jake Fisher that kind of broke all of that down. They'd like to get into the first round, and they want to be opportunistic, but this person said if they were a betting man, there's going to be more moves once free agency pops up. They're not trying to sell the farm to get into the first round, which tells me that they want to get into the first round, but as of right now, they don't love someone enough to sell the farm. There's not someone that they believe in as of right now, or as of between 7 and 9. And let me double check. Let me make sure the cameras don't catch it here. This call that I received, I'm just covering it. It was at 8:50. Okay. It was at 8:50. As of 8:50, they'd like to get into the first round. They want to be opportunistic, but they are more so looking at free agency. This person said if they were a betting man or a betting person, they would say that a lot of these moves are going to be made after the draft. But if something pops up, if price tags drop on something, if Ace Bailey keeps turning down workout opportunities and keeps destroying his draft value, then yes, they will be opportunistic. This person, if they were a betting man, they would more so have a conversation about free agency and expect the Kings to do something there. So as of 8:50, still being patient, looking at options. There have been conversations with the Miami Heat, but DeMar DeRozan hasn't come up. But convos have happened, and they like to get into the first round. And as far as that report that they are telling agents that they assume they will be in the first round, apparently that did not come up. So as far as, oh yeah, we're for sure going to be in the first round, that report that came out from Jake Fisher, as far as I know, and like I said, this stuff is all fluid. Remember that word from 2020? This stuff is all fluid, but As far as 850 and what I was told yesterday from a source extremely close within the organization, or extremely close to the organization, I should say, they're happy to get into the first round, but it is not something that is their number one priority. I'll put it to you like that. As far as the DeMar DeRozan thing, and again, everything is subject to change, right? He could get traded earlier today. He could get traded earlier, or later today, honestly. And as Alan, you said this, that was at 850, okay? And, maybe things are being, cross-contaminated or whatever you want to call it, but as of 850, and like I said, this is a very, very close situation here. That's who I got this information from at 850. That's not to say things might not change, but conversations have been had. DeMar DeRozan specifically, though, has not come up, which leads us to say, okay, well, who has? And we had a conversation with Chris Persianen of Clutch Points earlier this week, who put out a Malik Monk article about Malik Monk and the Raptors, who the Raptors have been interested in Malik Monk. And this Desmond Bane thing and that trade, you start looking at this value a little bit differently all over, whether that's Malik Monk, whether that's Zach LaVine. Does Zach LaVine look any better after the Bane trade? Oh, it's 2 years. Could he be a guy? Now he's more expensive than DeMar DeRozan, but could he be a backup plan, a contingency plan to Kevin Durant? It's 2 years and it's expensive, but could he be a guy that people think, hey, he could take us over the top, right? Could certain teams convince themselves of that? We'll have to see. You look at the teams that have been mentioned, the Rockets, the Heat, every team that's been brought up as far as the Kevin Durant conversation is concerned. Where does that land when it comes to DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and people are just looking at the Kings as a poo-poo platter. Just what do you want? Who are you interested in? You want the most expensive? You want the least expensive? You want the oldest? You want the youngest? Well, what do you want? And as far as Scott Perry is concerned, it's his job to do due diligence. I went back and forth with the drive guys, and I was texting Jay, and it feels like I'm the loser here in this conversation, because the first thing I thought when they're sitting there saying they're saying there's nobody on the Kings that could go for the Desmond Bane package. I said, come on, guys. I text Jay immediately. Jay, my guy, man. I text Jay, DeMontis Sabonis can't go for that package? If you're Scott Perry, you're not listening to something? He said, I don't know, man. I don't know, Alan. I don't know if he could go for it. So I bring it up to Clutch Points when we had him on. I don't know, Alan. It seems like a lot for DeMontis Sabonis. So we had the round table. Chris Watkins, Brendan Nunez, Frankie Cardicelli. They said, Alan, I think you're wrong. I don't think that DeMontis Sabonis would go for that type of package because of how much he's getting paid and honestly how he's viewed as far as how you could use him. They went on to say, and it was Chris Watkins, if I'm not mistaken, who will be on 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They went on to say that if Keegan has a good season, Keegan is actually in line next season to get a Desmond Bane type package. And Keegan ain't going to be making what Desmond Bane making. Now you also could say that the Magic overpaid for Desmond Bane, but they've been looking for a three-point shooter the same way the Giants have been looking for a 30 home run in a season guy since Barry retired. So it also depends on what that need is. I think the Pacers need to upgrade from Miles Turner. I don't think that upgrade is DeMontis Sabonis. Then you have the Zubac's of the world having great seasons, the Şengün's. So I had to say, Uncle, maybe they're right. Maybe there is nobody on the Kings that can farm you that type of package. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to what could be out there. So the Kings are in a situation right now where when Scott Perry had that introductory press conference, he said, my phone's been ringing incessantly. It might be doing that again. And if I'm Scott Perry, I'm listening to everything. Somebody could convince themselves of a Zach LaVine. It's 2 years, it's expensive, but if he's giving you 24 points per game for the next couple seasons on that type of efficiency, Brendan Nunes keeps saying, why aren't we talking about Zach LaVine's efficiency? He had a crazy season. It didn't look the way we thought because we were looking for a point guard as he went down to San Antonio in the Riverwalk. But Zach LaVine was basically the same guy on the Kings as he was on the Bulls. The team just didn't make a ton of sense. And that's what they're trying to figure out now. But maybe somebody could talk themselves into it. Maybe the Timberwolves could say, all right, Ant, yeah, they're two shooting guards, but can we do enough between the two of them? And maybe Rob Dillingham does take a step, or he's at least playable next season. What does that look like if Kevin Durant doesn't want to come here? As the Suns move into phase 2, mind you, and we'll get into that in a second here. But the Suns move into phase 2 with KD, which means, sorry, KD, we got to send you somewhere. Or not. Maybe he stays. So you are evaluating everything. And, that is a larger, and by the way, go check out what we did with Chris Persanian from Clutch Points. I talked to him on Wednesday. I tried to get the team out of him. Of course, he didn't break. He told me that he knows for a fact that a team has already called about Domantas Sabonis. And the only thing I was able to get out of him, I said, is it a Western Conference or Eastern Conference team? And he said it was a Western Conference team. Now, he did go on to say that everybody's calling about everybody right now. But he told me, and I said it, we did it right here on the airwaves, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. every single day, that a team has already called about Domantas Sabonis. I don't know what that offer would look like. And it was a Western Conference team. So now everybody's guessing, is it the Lakers? Is it who could it be? Is it the Blazers? Oh my goodness. I don't know if Kings could take. I think DeAndre Ayton has a little bad PR. I don't think he is. I think he's better than how people talk about him. But could it be a Blazers type of team? Who is it? Could it be a Timberwolves type of team? I don't think you can play Gobert and Sabonis together. But who is that team? So we had some fun trying to guess who it was. But things are happening. So it's one of those situations where I wouldn't be surprised if the whole thing gets overhauled this upcoming season, which Scott Perry has done before. Or I wouldn't be surprised if they run it back, go get Tyus Jones, go get PJ Washington for, the DeMar DeRozan in some type of 3-team deal. Or, we joke on the Alan Stiles show, PJ Washington, go get your Tyus Jones or your PJ Washington, John Collins, and go from there. And that is what I think will happen. If I were a betting man, I would say Tyus Jones and some version of John Collins, who is now being connected to the Lakers, by the way. Some version of John Collins, PJ Washington, and we haven't talked about a Sacramento Kings centric show doesn't start until Cam Johnson is brought up. It used to be Kyle Kuzma, but now it's Cam Johnson. It used to be Jeremy Grant as well. But go get that enter name of tier 2 point guard, enter name of tier 1.5, 4 or wing, and they rock and roll from there. That's what I think is most likely to happen. But calls are being had. If you're just now joining, I was picking weeds, got a call from somebody very close to the Kings organization. They're still preaching patience, which we've heard before, but they are willing to take some swings. You know what I would say? And if you're just now joining us, look, I love my baseball comparisons. Where the Kings are right now, it's not a 2-0 count. It's definitely not a 3-0 count. It's not a 3-1 count. The Kings are in a 2-1. Scott Perry is at the plate in a 2-1 count right now, which means he's being fairly aggressive, but he's not swinging out of his shoes for no reason because you do got a strike on you. So it's 2-1. You feel like it's going to be a fastball, but even if that's a fastball on the outer half, just let it go. But if that's a fastball in your happy zone, let's get to work. As the coaches used to tell me, if it's your pitch, don't be late. Do not be late. I'd rather you hook that ball. I was a lefty. I'd rather you hook that ball to the right of first base if it's what you're looking for. But don't be late. You don't have to swing if it's not you. But 2-1 count, if it's in your happy zone, don't be late. That's where Scott Perry is with the Kings right now. That's how I am assessing the situation based on my call at 8:50 yesterday morning, right before I started to pick some weeds. That's what it is. 916-339-1140 if you want to be a part of the conversation. As far as DeMar DeRozan is concerned, I think that the Kings are in a good spot. I'm still trying to figure out. I think I'm probably guilty of overvaluing DeMar DeRozan, but I saw DeMar DeRozan have a lot of moments, and I don't want the stench of this past season to overtake the fact that DeMar DeRozan as a talent could still help a ton of teams. And that salary is very, very palatable in my opinion. It's enough to bring off a bench if you're a contender. It's enough to make him a starter as well. Second, third option. He's got that. And most importantly, he could be your closer. Now, you have to have the requisite pieces around him to put that in the right situation, right? As far as you need somebody that can defend, because we know that is not his forte, to put it nicely. You're going to need guys that can stretch the floor, because even though he shot it better from three-point range, that is not his forte. So there are situations where that can happen. That's why when I talk about the Rockets right now, they're already missing enough shooting. And Fred VanVleet, obviously, they're trying to rework. I don't even know what, that just went away. But Fred VanVleet, pretty soon here, they're going to figure out whether or not they want to pay. They know they don't want to pay Fred VanVleet $40+ million. But will they be able to rework that? Well, you got Fred VanVleet. I just saw a video of Amen Thompson. He's going to get better as far as shooting the basketball, but I don't know if that's going to happen next season. So, and then you get Şengün as well, who I think is a slightly better, it's just a smoother shooter than Domantas Sabonis, but he's not somebody I would say can stretch the floor like that. So DeMar DeRozan's tough. I think they need a closer. And we spoke with Chris Biederman of the Sacramento Bee a couple months ago. He was all over this as far as could it be a Rockets team? I think that fit is a bit wonky just for stretching the floor purposes, but they could talk themselves into it. Everybody that we say for Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, it's not that they're interchangeable. It's just what's your flavor? Like I said, the poo-poo platter. The Timberwolves could sit there. Look, Ant taking up threes for the whole state of Minnesota. So the Timberwolves could say, look, Ant's still our guy. He's our closer, but sometimes we can, get a little bit of breathing room, and it's a DeMar DeRozan night. He could give you 25 on any given night. So the Timberwolves could talk themselves into it. So I'm Scott Perry. The phone is ringing incessantly, just like it was before they decided to go with Doug Christie. And maybe I don't do anything if I don't like it. Maybe I just work around the fringes. Or maybe I look at that 2-1 count. I get that fastball. For me, it was middle in. Lefties like it a little down. Drop that bat head and send it out to Sutter Health Park. Right there where Nick Kurtz did. I can't hit it that far. But right there where Nick Kurtz did. So it's an exciting time. I think this is probably, I don't know about the season. The season had a lot of drama. But as far as excitement, I saw somebody text in, Alan, this is the least excited I've been going into a Kings offseason. Well, last offseason, they go get DeMar DeRozan, which whether you thought it would work or not, I would say it was fairly exciting. This one is exciting to me because at least it's different. Look, the West is going to be a juggernaut. Somebody said, how many teams are actively tanking in the West? And after the Jazz, I don't know that there's one. After the Jazz, how many teams are actively tanking? It's going to be a battle every single night. But right now, as of 8:23, we do have a little bit of hope because we don't know what they're going to do. Now, like I said, they could work around the fringes. They could just go get Tyus Jones and run it back. I don't know that I see that happening. Really depends on what DeMar DeRozan wants, because I do think there's a world where, let me say this, where the organization would be okay with you'd have your guy, nothing like us. We love videos like that, don't we now, out in Sacramento? Seems like the organization does. They got their guy, Zach LaVine, who they've been very much in love with for 4 years now. And you go get Tyus Jones. Hey, DeMar DeRozan's running on every podcast saying, when we had Lonzo, the sky was the limit between Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. They were just in Southern California working out with Doug Christie was there. Mason Jones was there. People must just love Mason Jones. He just pops up places. So anything is possible right now. They could run it back. But I would say this, they run it back. I think that if they did and just went Tyus Jones and ran it back, I think that behind closed doors, and this is not source information, this is just my thought, behind closed doors, Scott Perry would be saying, we're assessing the situation. But that run it back, I don't know that it would last all of this season. I think it would just be buying time to see if other suitors, based on the Kevin Durant thing, become a part of the conversation. And obviously, DeMar DeRozan would be much more palatable for an in-season trade than a Zach LaVine. But the sky is the limit right now. Or what did Michael Jordan say? The roof is the ceiling. So a lot of things can happen. That's the call that I had with somebody really close to the situation, and we'll see what happens next. But the bottom line is, as of 8:50, or whenever that, I believe that conversation was had the night prior, to be completely transparent. So that conversation happens. I get word of that conversation at 8:50. So as of essentially, 2 nights ago, no DeMar DeRozan conversation has been had with the Heat. None. But conversations have been had. It all depends on what happens with Kevin Durant. And Sam Amick says the Suns are entering phase 2 with Kevin Durant. We got that for you when we return. Alan Stiles filling in for Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross, Tech on Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Fidium Fiber.
I'm Tara Berg in the KCRA3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. Getting out the door to the comfort of the Delta breeze. It's cool enough to have a layer ready to go. As we get into the afternoon, we'll have sunshine and a bright, breezy day ahead. Gusts occasionally over 25 miles per hour. Highs today in the low 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
It's about time they
fixed that pothole.
Invented better windshield wipers.
Made an internet that just works. Fidium Fiber Internet, starting at only $30 a month. It feels like Fidium. Offer available to residential customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See Fidium.com for details.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, tell me what's happening for the Employee Pricing Plus sales event.
Anyone can get you employee pricing, but at Hoblet, it's all about the plus you can only get here. Save up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Ram 1500 crew cabs. One of the many reasons we are the #1 Ram truck dealer in California.
Well, why do you think Hoblet's consistently California's #1 Ram truck dealer?
You won't find a better price on the Ram truck you need. And with 500 new Rams available, no one has a better selection. Plus, being a 5th-generation family-owned dealer, you get the big city selection and savings with the small-town service. And we have 7 Walter P. Chrysler Service Awards to prove it.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
16,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie after 6,000 factory rebates and 10,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,500 select inventory bonus cash, 500 on the job upfit, must show eligible upfit. Employee pricing factored into dealer discount. 5% savings. Sample VIN 711632. See dealer for details.
On Friday, June 27th, the Sacramento River Cats are celebrating baseball legend and Sacramento's own Dusty Baker. The first 2,500 fans on June 27th receive a free Dusty Baker bobblehead. Get your tickets now at rivercats.com.
Summer days just got even brighter with Kohl's epic deals. Get this. You can score tees for just $5.99. bedding for 60% off. Comfy shorts only $7.99. And so much more. You do not want to miss out. Shop Kohl's epic deals for savings on all things summer now, before it's too late. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. Offer ends June 22nd. See store at Kohl's.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This July 3rd, get ready to ignite your summer at the Rongstrom Miska Firecracker 90 at the legendary Stockton 99 Speedway with late models, mini stocks, pure stocks, legends, and mini mods. All out, plus a massive fireworks show that'll light up the night. Get your tickets now at Stockton99.com. July 3rd, be there.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say. He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
They are good at what they do, Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross, but they're out today. Alan Stiles filling in, taking you up to 10 a.m., which is normally when I start the show. And since I have been bumped up, Charles Hamilton and Chris Watkins will be filling in for me 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Really excited to listen to those guys kind of go back and forth. I know Charles Hamilton has a history here at the station, has been on the station, and obviously my guy, Chris Watkins. So you're not going to want to miss them either. And they will have a different secret code for you. Our secret code is Kurtz to win that DeMar DeRozan jersey, COURT. Court 916-339-1140. If you want to win that jersey, text that in. You'll be thrown into the system. There will be 2 more secret codes to give out this week. So that is today. It's happening today. Yeah. That's right. So get it in and we'll see if you can win that jersey. Well, as far as Kevin Durant, we don't know what jersey he'll be wearing when we tip off the 2025-2026 season. But Sam Amick said on the Run It Back pod on FanDuel that the Suns are this was on the Athletic podcast, that the Suns are entering phase 2. What exactly does that mean? Let's hear from Sam.
Yeah, the list, to me, it's funny. It's just not as simple as all members of the list being equal. That's my opinion. You know, you've got San Antonio, Houston, Miami. Now, Minnesota's not on the list, but because the Suns so far do not like what they're hearing and getting from the teams on the list, they very clearly would love for the Timberwolves to become a place that Kevin Durant wants to play. We're in phase 2 of these discussions, where phase 1 was the Suns playing nice and saying, yes, we'll talk to the 3 teams on your list and see if we can get something done. Phase 2 is that we're not feeling this. Now we kind of need you to meet us in the middle a little bit.
I think they're just going to have to give it up.
That's the thing, right? Like, they have to move KD. Everyone knows that they have to move KD. And at a certain point, it's almost like the Jimmy Butler trade for them. As great and amazing as he still is, this isn't a guy that you're going to mortgage, your entire franchise for.
And the reality is, it's not Kevin Durant's fault. And when it comes to the whole loyalty thing, you can go back and forth. Kevin Durant, it's not Kevin Durant's fault they didn't win anything, right? They weren't very good when Kevin Durant wasn't playing. Bradley Beal is the worst contract in the NBA. And you have Devin Booker, who I'm just not really sure what Devin Booker is. Grayson Allen coming off essentially a career season. His fit kind of changed as well. You brought in Tyus Jones, but then he couldn't play defense, and you kind of used Devin Booker as a point guard. So it's not Kevin Durant's fault, but also the Suns don't owe Kevin Durant anything. And we essentially just watched a version of this. It just happened in a quicker fashion with De'Aaron Fox, right? And I don't know if the word blackmail is going to be used with Kevin Durant, but this is how it goes. Jimmy Butler said he wanted to go to the Suns, and we can go before that. Dame Lillard said he wanted to go to the Heat. Dame Lillard went to the Milwaukee Bucks. And if it wasn't for injuries, it probably would have been a more successful pairing. But he did not go where he wanted to go. And everybody survived. Then you have Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, I want to go to the Suns. Did the agent leak this? Or the agent said it's not true. And obviously Shams kind of knows his stuff. It was true. Jimmy Butler did not go to the Suns. And he probably is better off not going to the Suns. He ended up with the Warriors. Feels like the happiest Jimmy Butler has ever been, or in a very long time. So this is the process. This is what the Kings should have done when it came to De'Aaron Fox going through the process, because you do not have to move. And I think the Kings might have had more leverage because of where De'Aaron Fox is in his career, that you did not have to move him, but it's fine. We'll move on. He's in the Riverwalk now. But with Kevin Durant, yeah, Kevin, you put out these preferred destinations. So all of these teams, number one, the teams that you said you wanted to go to, they now know they don't have to give us the best package because you want to go there. So there goes that leverage. And the teams that you said you didn't want to go to, or you didn't want to go to, Minnesota, or teams that just aren't on the list, they're not going to give us the farm because you might leave in a year. So what are we doing here, dude? I read that there was a possibility that he could come back. I don't think that's going to happen, but if you really want to get out of here, you do. Kevin Durant is a multi-millionaire. He might even be in the B's now. He knows how business works. So, Kev, you understand how leverage works. And you understand that if we respect how good of a player you are, we are not going to just take whatever. Now, you are 36, 37 years old. You do cost a lot of money. And you have been injured from time to time. He's 36. He turns 37 in September. So he turns 30. He will be 37 when the next season kicks off. So you'll be 37 at that point in time. So as good as you are, we understand that, yeah, we're not going to get crazy enough. We're not going to get what the Grizzlies got for Desmond Bane, which is a crazy statement, but we understand how all that goes and where these guys are in their career. But we got to do the dance. We got to tango. We tried to see if we could catch somebody and get what, and that's what everybody was saying with De'Aaron Fox and the Spurs and the Kings. The Kings should have got more. Maybe not a Stephon Castle, but I need me a Jeremy Sohan. He's 20, 21 years old. I don't care what color hair he's got. I need that just on principle. I've been joking with my wife that I'm very much a on principle type of guy. Right? Like, stuff just annoys me. Not because something happened or whatever. It's just the principle. You go somewhere and you're getting served, you go to a restaurant, something like that, and they're a bit slow to getting you and they don't apologize, whatever the case is. And yeah, I'm still going to tip them because I understand. I was in the I was in the service industry many moons ago, but it's just the principle, right? If you're waiting, just come check in on us. It's just the principle of it. It's not your fault. You're not cooking the food. You're not making the drinks. Sometimes they are these days, but it's just the principle of it. So that's where things are at right now with Kevin Durant and bringing it back to De'Aaron Fox. It's just the principle of the trade. I need something that I can show to the future. I need a 6'10", 21-year-old, just on principle. I don't even know how good Jeremy Sohan is. And by the way, Jeremy Sohan's been working out in Phoenix, so people are making the connections there with the Spurs, and the Spurs were on the list. The Spurs are tough, man. They don't want to give up what Phoenix feels like Kevin Durant's worth. But I need that. And now that you have a situation where the Suns have tried to do right by a guy who's won absolutely nothing with them. That's not necessarily his fault, but has won absolutely nothing with them. And now it's all right, Kev. We all right, KD. We gotta make this work. We gotta make this work one way or the other. It just it is what it is. And I understand that we tried. I understand that where you're coming from, where you're at in your career, you feel like you've done enough to be able to pick, but you came here, you have a history of doing this, and you're under contract. And you don't have a no trade clause like your boy Bradley Beal, who is just refusing to leave Phoenix. So because of these things, we did it your way. Now we're not even opposed to not doing it your way, but you got to meet us in the middle. Can we, behind closed doors, open up that list a little bit? Can we do that so we can make this happen? Because, you talk about 10 cents on the dollar or whatever it is. I'm leaving here with something, just like Denzel said in that Jamie Foxx interview. I'm leaving here with something, and that's it.
There's some interesting audio that just came out.
Okay.
About 40 minutes ago. This is from the Run It Back podcast. Boogie Cousins, of all people, talking about something going on in the Suns organization.
I don't want to be the guy to report it, but I've definitely heard of some of the, negative things in the locker room. There was a couple of fist fights. There was a lot going on that obviously carries over into the court. So, for him to be the so-called blame of the negative seasons they've had, I think it's completely unfair.
Hold on. Boogie, are you saying there were fist fights in the Suns locker room amongst the Suns?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Interesting.
Out here swinging in the locker room? That's crazy. Well, now we got to figure out who in the world was swinging on who. It doesn't seem like – so Boogie's saying Kevin wasn't swinging, but somebody was swinging.
Like, is this going to be KD like, all right, yeah, you could send me someplace else, but then I'm talking.
Exactly. There again, that the word of the day, leverage. Okay, I feel like this is economics 101 that we're talking about when we return what's hot and what's not, and we take bets on who is swinging in the Kings, excuse me, not the Kings, who is swinging in the Suns locker room. Alan South filling in for Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ us with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month and experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying for it. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-431-8958. That's 800-431-8958.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places that I love to shop. Get it? With the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
If you're not looking for a brand new car, at Elk Grove Honda, we've acquired some of the best pre-owned cars we can find. We've kept only the best of our trades, and our buyer has found some of the finest pre-owned Hondas available in Northern California. You can see for yourself at elkgrovehonda.com. Whether you purchase a brand new Honda or a like-new pre-owned Honda, your car buying experience will be the same. We have the right Honda at the right price. You'll find us in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot.
And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
All right. Christopher Laud. He is normally in this slot. I am not. Alan Stiles from the Alan Stiles Show. Normally 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Filling in for Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross. And it is time for What's Hot and What's Not. All right, Chris, give it to me. What's hot?
This is specifically for you.
Okay.
Left-handed pitchers in Major League Baseball
are hot.
On Wednesday, there were 11 games started by 12 left-handed pitchers, and they went 10 of 12 with an 83.3% winning percentage. That is the highest percentage of games won by lefties on any single day with at least 10 games in the modern era.
Wow. You know, there's nothing better than, well, The only thing better than a left-handed hitter is a left-handed pitcher. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. And look, I didn't hate facing lefties. I was more of besides when a curveball came and I thought it was going to hit me in the face, but it was more of.
Now you know how all of us felt.
That's exactly right. I mean, that was the most embarrassing part of it because I would duck on some of them, Chris, and literally it was strike one. So, the lefty thing has been tough, but I would always feel so accomplished when I would get a hit off a lefty. As a lefty hitter, I would normally just push bunt and try to get on that way. But shout out to all the lefties out there. And speaking of, can I just say, because I already said my goodbyes, but I'm going to say one more goodbye to my guy, Kyle Harrison, a fellow alum of De La Salle High School in Concord, California. A great story coming up, like I said, from De La Salle with Coach Jeans out there who coached me once upon a time, getting drafted, playing for the hometown team, and now he's in Boston, and that's how the Giants got Rafael Devers. But happy trails to one Kyle Harrison, a lefty gone but not forgotten. What is not, Chris?
Oklahoma City Thunder. And their 108-91 loss to the Pacers. They were never really in the game from the second quarter on. They only shot 31 of 74 from the field and 8 of 30 from three-point land. It's only 26.7%.
Yeah.
So are they just resting for game 7?
It sounds like just get on the plane, right? Just get on the plane and you get your home cooking and go from there. That's the crazy thing about the Thunder to me. And again, we know role players play better at home than on the road, but they can go, like I said, we don't know what Chet is. I think he's going to be really good on certain days and other days. He kind of worries me. Jalen Williams has been playing really well, but I mean, if you're banking on essentially every game, the Thunder are banking on one good game from three-point land or just good game in general from Lou Dort or Alex Caruso. That's the last thing that you need as well. And if you don't get that, and the Pacers are able to contain Shea, anything can happen. So I'm picking the Thunder. I'm not swaying from that, but it is going to be a great game. And I would say, or hopefully going to be a great game. And I would say this is the best case scenario for this small market finals, right? You had to go 7 games to just salvage anything. And the ratings are whatever, but who cares, honestly, because we know what it is. But at least you're getting a game 7. At the very least, that's what you're getting. All right, Chris, great stuff. That was what's hot and what's not. Are we going streaking too, Chris? We got a streaking update. Are we doing that?
It's time to go streaking.
We're going streaking! Yeah!
Who is the Nostradamus of MLB? Who can keep the streak going? It's time to go streaking.
What the hell are you doing? We're streaking!
So currently on the show, we are in quite the June swoon.
Okay.
There were several times where none of us got a hit. And the guys only had a 1-game hitting streak going into Wednesday night's games. So Jason, he chose Roman Anthony of the Red Sox. He was looking to make his 1-game hitting streak a 2-game hitting streak. Roman Anthony 0 for 2 with the walk.
Yeah.
Then Dave not going the same way. He's going to go, guaranteed hit. Rafael Devers of the San Francisco Giants. He went 0 for 3 on Wednesday night.
Oh.
And me, I had not gotten a hit in over a week. I went with Bobby Witt Jr. 1 for 4 with the hit.
There you go.
I got on the board. Sorry for all the other guys. So the guys have sent me in their pick for tonight's games.
Okay.
Jason will take Ronald Acuna Jr. Mm-hmm. Dave will take Mookie Betts.
Okay.
I'm going with the San Francisco Giant, Rafael Devers.
Okay.
So would you like to get in on this?
I will get in on it, and I'm just going to keep it simple here. This guy, I know you guys get all the A's players, but this is my favorite player on the A's. Wore the same number I wore, lefty. Give me Lawrence Butler, man. Give me Lawrence Butler all day. That's what I'm talking about, Chris. Okay? And they play tonight. Yeah, now the Guardians, who just played the Giants, now they drive up 80 to take on the Athletics, and the Guardians, they did pretty well out there in San Francisco, so we'll see what happens. But give me, and I'll do you one better. Take I don't know what the over is on that A's Guardians game, but take it. Just take it at Sutter Health Park. Just take it. All right. The game doesn't start until the team scores, and that's normally the top of the first inning. So that is the streaking. Chris, I did want to get to some news here, and this is a bit more serious, but this happened, last night? A former NBA center, Vlade Divac, underwent emergency surgery after breaking a hip in a fall from his motorcycle, doctors said Friday. The accident happened Thursday on a road near the Adriatic Sea coast. Hospital officials said the 57-year-old Divac sustained a fracture and that an artificial hip was implanted. Here's the quote from the spokeswoman of the hospital. During the day, a surgical procedure was performed. He is in a stable general and physical condition and is under careful supervision of the medical staff. So our best wishes to Vlade Divac. That's rough stuff right there, but just felt like I wanted to give everybody an update on that, which happened last night, where, like I said, taking a little break from sports for a little bit. I didn't even see that come through until a little bit earlier this morning when I woke up at 3 in the morning, because of course that's how early I woke up. 9 o'clock hour coming up next, and in the 9 o'clock hour, you'll never believe who Jake LaRavia was in the car with during an interview. What does it mean for his future with the Sacramento Kings? And honestly, maybe you will believe it. Al South filling in for Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hot summer savings explode at Maida's Elk Grove Chevy. Save $12,000 off MSRP after rebates. Every new 2025 Silverado half-ton LT and RST in stock.
Maida Chevy has similar savings on every new Silverado. One of the largest selections in the Sacramento area.
$12,000 off new Silverado exclusively at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Less rating 2011 renewal. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, the way Nick Kurtz has been going, it's easy to forget that just over a year ago, he was finishing his college career at Wake Forest. Back-to-back game-winning home runs, including the 447-foot walk-off shot against the Astros to begin the most recent homestand, the longest walk-off for the A's since they began keeping track of those things 10 years ago.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. It's how retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And it's how healthcare offices become data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business.
This summer, give your kids a reason to smile, brightly. At Kids Care Dental, we make dental visits fun with a kid-friendly team, easy-to-schedule appointments, and expert doctors who really care.
Whether it's a checkup, a cleaning, or their very first visit, we've got you covered. We accept most insurances, and we're always ready when your schedule gets hectic.
Smiles grow here. Book online in minutes at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com. Kids Care Dental, where healthy teeth make happy kids.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. and he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Tickets and info at CITPFest.com.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
It is, but it also isn't, because Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross said, one day off ain't enough. Taking Friday off too. So Alan Stiles here, one more hour with you. And you have Charles Hamilton and Chris Watkins filling in for me on the Alan Stiles Show, taking you up to 2 p.m. And then the Drive guys, they're rocking and rolling with you, of course, at 2 p.m. So Austin Reeves is a guy that just tends to pop up in certain situations, right? And you had Jake LaRavia doing an interview, and nobody knew who was driving the car. Jake LaRavia was just on his phone. And at the very end of the interview, Jake LaRavia, right, the camera gets turned, and Austin Reeves is driving the car. And now, oh my goodness, Jake LaRavia to the Lakers. It's going to happen. By the way, we don't even know if Austin Reeves is going to be on the Lakers. But Jake LaRavia to the Lakers. What does this mean? And it just made me start thinking, when you start hanging out with guys like that are from big markets, is it unrealistic to think that Jake LaRavia is going to stay in Sacramento? As much as I would love for it to happen, I'd even say that I'd love to see a world where Jake LaRavia got 30 minutes a game. I really do. The kid is only 23 years old. I don't think we'll see that world. I think you could try to sell that world to him as it pertains to trying to get him to stay. And I know he loves playing for Doug Christie. He said it. He's basically doing his media tour a little bit, trying to see what teams could be interested in him. And as I start feeling good about the situation, I see him with Austin Reeves, and now I'm thinking, oh no, his PR is starting to turn. He's hanging out. I don't even know if they were in LA, but he's hanging out with Austin Reeves. He's hanging out with bigger names. He played pretty darn well in Sacramento. I think the only reason this is even still a question is because Jake LaRavia was hurt and was unable to get out there towards the end of the season with the Kings. Because I think Jake LaRavia was just starting to find his way on the Kings. He was shooting the basketball at a better clip. And I think that if he was able to play to close out the season, even if it ends the same way, I'm pretty sure Jake LaRavia would have priced himself out. The only reason I think we're still even having this conversation is because it was a pretty small sample size. And speaking of Jake LaRavia, we had Keith Smith on the Alan Stiles Show, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. On Sacktown Sports, of course. Keith Smith, NBA cap expert, he was on our show about a month ago, and he had some things to say as far as Jake LaRavia was concerned. And this is where I had a bit of faith in the idea that he was going to be able to say. So, Chris, if we have that queued up here, this is what Keith Smith had to say as far as the Jake LaRavia conversation and whether or not he'd be able to stay in Sacramento. Here it is.
Yeah, I think this is, again, one where things are kind of working a little bit in the Kings' favor here, but maybe not quite as well as they are with Keon Ellis. And the reason I say that is what happened with Jake LaRavia is the Kings are limited. They can, because the Grizzlies declined their rookie scale team option on him, that means that they then, by virtue of trading him to the Kings, now the Kings are limited to paying him a starting salary of about $5.2 million next year. You can't exceed the amount of the declined option. So what happens with Jake LaRavia is he gets paid, a starting salary of $5.2 million. They could give him, a full contract that works out to about $30 million over 5 years. If I'm Jake LaRavia and his agent, I'm like, nah, that's not enough for me in terms of annual value. But he might be able to get a 2-year deal worth, $10.5 million, where then maybe that second season's an option. Then he can opt out of that. The Kings then can that restriction of how much you can pay him in first-year salary is removed, and they can work out a new deal from there. I think that could be the path forward for Jake LaRavia.
That is, as Keith Smith said, the best situation that could happen, where basically Jake LaRavia is kind of betting on himself, right? And we had Mike Scotto on the show of Hoops Hype, and he said he had an interview. He did a Q&A with Jake LaRavia. Like I said, Jake LaRavia doing the media tour thing, trying to get his PR right. I ain't mad at you, young fella. Do what you got to do. And he went on to talk about how much he liked playing for Doug Christie. Even said, he would love to come back to the Kings even more if Doug Christie was made the head coach, which obviously at that time hadn't been talked about. So you would essentially be betting on yourself in that 2-year deal. Jake LaRavia opts out after this upcoming season, and then the Kings cash him out the way that he feels like he should be cashed out. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Now, the reality is, going back to the Mike Scotto conversation, is where is that line, right? And Mike Scotto essentially said, if what's out there is close enough, and this isn't what he said, but let's throw a number out there. If it's same idea of a deal, 2 years, $14 million, and he's getting $7 million, and look, like I said, we're talking about $1 billion with the Lakers. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that $2 million isn't a big deal. This is all relatively speaking. But if it's 2 years, $14 million somewhere else, right? Versus the 2 years, $10 million for the Kings, maybe Jake LaRavia would say, okay, I want to stay. That's not enough for me that's not money I can completely say no to. I'd rather stay, say that, see what happens with the Kings. Maybe I can get more playing time. I can opt out and really get cashed out with them moving forward. That's kind of where they could go from there. But ultimately, the hope is that there aren't a lot of options for Jake LaRavia, and that the money is not exactly blowing him out of the water, because if it is, then of course he's gone. So that's the Jake LaRavia thing. He had some other destinations that he talked about, and within those destinations, I think that what it comes down to for Jake is, okay, well, some of those destinations you're just not going to get the type of playing time that I think you want to get at this point. And other destinations might not be willing to pay you that, right? So there are a couple different places that he discussed, and really it just comes down to is all of that going to fit the way that he wants it to fit? I know he mentioned San Antonio, teams like that. So we'll see what happens there. But I'd love to see Jake LaRavia stay on the Kings. I think there is a world where I'm not going to sit here and say, do the leap conversation, but I'm kind of going to do it because I think that there is a world where we could be talking about him in the same likes as some of these players that we're seeing in the playoffs right now. He fits the mold. We were joking on the Alan Stiles show, and basically what we're seeing from the Kevin O'Connors of the world, what we're seeing, Austin Rivers has a podcast. He's talking about it. What we're seeing now is a change in what role players need to be, right? You look at the Thunder and you look at the Pacers, two teams in the finals, and what do they have? They have a bunch of dudes that can defend, that move the ball quickly, and can shoot the three ball. So you got your center, you got your star, and then you got a bunch of dudes that are willing to pass the basketball, that can defend, and that can shoot the three ball. That's what the NBA is right now. Now, we can talk about how the Kings fit into that mold, which they don't really. But they do have some of those guys. But let's go through the finals right now. Obviously, with the Pacers, you have your dude in Tyrese Halliburton. You have your center in Miles Turner, who he's kind of a unique center as well. But outside of that, you have your defenders. You got your Andrew Nembhard. You got your Andrew Nembhard. You got your Aaron Nesmith coming off the bench. You got your Benedict Mathurin's. Move the basketball, defend at a high level. Maybe all of them don't fit that mold, but more often than not, they do. You got your Obi Toppin, who's my favorite player. I said he should have been on the Kings. I got laughed out the room. People said he wasn't good enough, and Obi Toppin is dropping 20 in finals games, and you go from there. As far as the Thunder are concerned, you got your center, you got your stud. Obviously, they got Jalen Williams, who is pretty close to a stud as well. But then after that, you got your Lou Dortz, shoot threes and defend. Alex Caruso, shoot threes and defend. Isaiah Joe, shoot threes and defend. Aaron Wiggins, Cason Wallace, all these guys, just shoot threes and defend. Now let's look at the Kings. The Kings. Well, you got your big man. You got Domantas Sabonis. Outside of that, you have, I would say that fit that new mold, Keon Ellis. Shoot threes and defend. Keegan Murray. Shoot threes and defend. Outside of that, that's where I feel like you got to hang on to a Jake LaRavia. And I'm on record. I'll say it. I was a bit surprised when the Kings went in the direction of Devin Carter. But with that being said, Devin Carter has the ability to fit that mold. Shoot threes and defend. That's what the league is turning into. So do you have that, and how many of those dudes do you have? So if I look at the current state, and to be honest, Zach LaVine, obviously he doesn't defend like that. Zach LaVine offensively fits the mold. He just costs a lot of money. But Zach LaVine does fit that mold. Shoot threes, defend. And every guy isn't going to fit that. The issue is you're paying Zach LaVine like a dude. You're paying like Zach LaVine like he's one of those dudes. And he's not that. At least he hasn't been. But again, high level of Zach LaVine was 30 mil a year, something like that, even 35. He's looked at completely differently. But that 45, that $47 million, hey, man, you're supposed to be taking us at least to the playoffs. So shoot threes, defend. Jake LaRavia is a guy that I think, and why he probably is done in Sacramento, is because he fits that new mold. That current mold. You can't have Andre Robersons anymore. You cannot have, and I'm going to take it to baseball here, you can't have DHs, right? And the Kings right now, they have too many DHs. They have too many guys that can just do one thing. You can't have DeMar DeRozan DH. You can't have Zach LaVine DH. I would say Malik Monk's kind of a DH too. You got too many DHs, right? And it's a bonus. I don't think he's a DH. But obviously defensively, he's kind of more of a tweener, which is a different conversation. But you got too many DHs on the Kings as far as the guys where they're spending that money. Their young dudes fit that new mold. And when we're talking about the possibility, if you're just now joining the show, I got a call yesterday from somebody really close to the Kings organization who gave some updates as far as the rumors are concerned. And we talked about whether or not the Kings are itching as much as it has been reported to get into the first round. They said it ain't that itchy. It ain't as itchy. They like to get into the first round, but they're more so being opportunistic if that comes up. But if you go to get into the first round, that's my issue with the Walter Clayton Jr. Is he like I said, if he's 70% of Steph Curry, he might still be a Hall of Famer. But unless you're looking at a dude here, and I just think you can find a point guard. We are overcorrecting now because of what we just watched. Tyus Jones, I feel like we should just make sure that Tyus Jones isn't good enough before going up in the draft to get Walter Clayton or even with Jace Richardson, the kid from Michigan State. And I think he's supposed to be really good. But you're 6 foot, 6'2", whatever it is, okay, you better be. I'm looking more so at high ceiling if you're going to go into that direction, or somebody that fits that new mold. Shoot threes, defend at a high level, move the basketball. You can create a little bit, sure. You can get a little wiggle. You can get into your bag like Mark Jones says. I'm cool with that. But this is where the league is headed. And the Kings have some of those guys. Just get as many of those guys as possible. Cam Johnson. Why do you think everybody wants to talk about Cam Johnson? Why do you think everybody wants to talk about now Trey Murphy? Now, Trey Murphy, I think, could be a little bit more than that. But everybody wants to talk about Herb Jones. These are the guys. Now, these are guys that already have their studs. These are guys that already have their foundations in place. And now you're trying to surround them. I think Trey Murphy, some could argue, could be part of your foundation. But that's kind of what it is right now. And I want to talk myself in to Jake LaRavia figuring out a way to stay in Sacramento. I just ultimately think that the type of player that he is very sought after right now. And you can get, I don't want to say a distressed asset, but you can get somebody like Jake LaRavia on a decent deal at 23 years old, and the Kings are capped in as far as what they're able to give him. I would like to think he's going to make his way back, but I just think there's too many teams that could use a Jake LaRavia. Now, will he get as much playing time on one of those contenders as he wants to? I don't know. Right? Jake LaRavia next season, you talk about over-under, he could go anywhere from 10 minutes a game to 25-plus minutes a game. That's where it could go for Jake LaRavia. But somebody is going to just want to have him on the roster. This is a name that got brought up because, and I got to give credit where credit's due, Kyle Ledbetter, producer on the Alan Stiles Show. He will be with you along with Charles Hamilton and Chris Watkins, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. But Kyle was talking about the Mavs situation. Hey, PJ Washington isn't owed a ton of money. What is it, 16 mil, something like that. But PJ Washington is probably looking to get a little bit more playing time. And the Mavs, they go ahead and get Cooper Flagg. Now PJ Washington is squeezed out a little bit, and it's a very movable contract. So PJ Washington moves on so they can make room for Cooper Flagg. And now and I know Jake LaRavia, these guys, that 3-4 mold. So now you go get a Jake LaRavia for 2 years, 14 mil. Maybe you even give him 16 mil. And Jake LaRavia, you don't have to worry about as much of, okay, squeeze that. He's only 23 years old. He's not going to play as much and as far as what PJ Washington may have wanted. So that's a situation just off the top of Kyle's head there. And I thought that's a really good look. That's a really good shout. So teams like that, where it's situations have changed a bit. We need somebody. We don't know if we need somebody as much as we've had in the past. So now Jake LaRavia can kind of plug and play because, like I said, he could go anywhere from 10 minutes a game all the way to 20, 25 minutes a game. The world is his oyster. So where does he value playing time versus money? And to be honest, I don't even know if the Kings could promise him that type of playing time because we don't know what's happening with DeMar DeRozan. We know that he's played alongside Keegan Murray. Sometimes he's come in for Keegan Murray. At one point, he's guarding point guards. You know, he's come in for Zach LaVine at times. But if they go out and make a couple different moves with DeRozan and what they get back for DeRozan, then Jake could say, well, now you have, I don't know, just because we've had the Heat conversation, which, by the way, got a call yesterday that as of 2 nights ago, leading into that call that I received at 8:50 yesterday morning, the Kings had not had conversations with the Heat about DeMar DeRozan. But let's just play that game because anything can change. Everything is subject to change. But you have that conversation, and now Andrew Wiggins is part of that deal. I know it's been reported it could be Jaime Jaquez, whatever it is. Now Jake is saying, well, how much time am I going to get here? So Jake is kind of in a power position, which is good on him and good for him. But on the other side of it, not sure that it is looking great for Sacramento. And it really depends on how much is $3 million. How much is $2 million or $3 million to Jake LaRavia? It'd be a lot to me, right? The NBA is so interesting how you can be a first-round pick, only 23 years old, and in some ways a distressed asset. In some ways, yeah, he's kind of, you know, we don't think he's going to be one of those dudes, and now you kind of fall by the wayside. So now if you're Jake LaRavia, well, I got to get my paper while I can get it. I don't know if I'm going to get another opportunity at even this. Life comes at you fast. I tell toddler Stiles all the time, turn 2 in April. Life comes at you fast. I need you taking out the trash pretty soon here. I need you working. Life comes at you fast. And maybe life is going to come out as fast as far as the Kings are concerned. You know, Zach LaVine, I know that contract feels like it's immovable. Let me tell you this much. It might not be as immovable as you all think. It might be a little bit more appealing than what people think. If you have a foundation in place and you just want to drop 24 points per game into that foundation on good efficiency, let's have that conversation. Now, when you try to bring somebody in, and hey, we kind of need you to be a point guard too. And also, we kind of need you to be a number one in a way. And also, we need you to learn how to work with our very specific center and do dribble handoffs, DHOs, things like that. That's different. But if you are just copy, paste, just drop him, and that's what the Kings have, in my opinion, in Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. 2 guys that you can drag and drop, just like a laptop or a PC back in the day, drag and drop into a lot of different situations. And I think they'll be okay. Zach LaVine, you look at his numbers with the Kings, this dude was dealing with an in-season trade, which we're learning more and more every day. Every player hates, unless they just really want to get out, unless it's a Jimmy Butler situation. Every player, or I shouldn't say every player, most players hate in-season trades. Zach LaVine was dealing with in-season trades, not across the country, but pretty far across the country, and a newborn baby. And he's on the Kings, filling in for De'Aaron Fox. And he essentially put up the same numbers he put up on the Bulls. So if he can do that, and it might not have looked the way we expected it to look, if he can do that, if I'm a team, I'd say, yeah, he's getting paid a lot of money, but the dude has been, all season long, has been somebody you can depend on. And if I'm dropping him into a situation that I think all we're missing is that type of, three-point shooting and ability to score the basketball, I might be able to talk myself into it if I have a strong enough foundation. Because we ain't gonna trade for Zach LaVine and ask him to be a point guard. We ain't gonna trade for Zach LaVine and say you have to be this elite alpha number one. We might be able to do it by committee. So maybe that's more appealing to people than people realize. DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, all we really need is just a closer at the end of games, right? When it comes to three-point shooting, which is why an Orlando Magic team, maybe they could have been interested in a Zach LaVine, but that timeline is maybe slightly off. And I think they just they really wanted Desmond Bane. I think that's what it came down to. But maybe we could have that conversation. DeMar DeRozan, maybe obviously not the Orlando Magic, but maybe somebody else. Like I said, we'll see what happens with Naz Reid and Minnesota. But, and this is obviously not source information, but DeMar DeRozan. Hey, we need sometimes Ant getting those double teams. We know for a fact, and you might be able to say, okay, he can just mid-ranges to death. Well, he will. DeMar DeRozan will. Maybe it does open up things a little bit for Ant. We'll see. But two guys that I think the good thing when it comes to the value, two guys you can copy and paste into a lot of different situations. Will they be able to do that? I guess that's what we're going to wait and see. As far as Jake LaRavia is concerned, I'm trying to talk myself into it, but it just feels like he could be a hotter commodity than maybe we thought going into the season, because he is the model, or going into next season, because he is the model that a lot of us are looking for, a lot of teams are looking for on their roster. We got What's on Deck coming up as well, and celebrity birthdays when we return. Alan South filling in for Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
When I was in Iraq, our convoy was hit. It was bad. After I came home, I could still hear booms and see tracer fire. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
With help from DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm part of DAV. We're veterans helping veterans to get the benefits they've earned. And I give my veterans my all.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Naomi Mathis, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit KHTK.com.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel. The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this is going to be fun.
It's time for What's on Deck, brought to you by Trex Decking and Railing.
Alan Stiles filling in for Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross, Charles Hamilton, and Chris Watkins joining us, and they will have you from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. But Chris, right now,
what's on deck?
That's right. Well, Christopher Lott, I mean. Chris, what's on deck?
No, Watkins, go ahead.
What's on deck? I got it.
Who is on deck?
It's Friday.
Who's on first?
I mean, I think the big one is Rafael Devers going up against his former team, the Boston Red Sox and the San Francisco Giants. Gonna be a big watch this weekend. Rivercats got anything going on this weekend?
No nothing at home because the A's are at home.
That's right. That's right.
And yeah, the A's
it's been a while since the Rivercats have been at home, right?
We're back on Tuesday, or we might be back. I know I'm working on Tuesday, but we might be back before Tuesday. But we're back on Tuesday. I know my Rivercats fans, and I met. It's just so great doing the Rivercats things. I met a season ticket holder. Okay, she was a retired teacher, just there watching the game by herself. She was our season ticket member of the game, and just loves the Kitties, man. Just loves the River Kitties. So we will be back next week. And Chris, a couple different notes. Chris Verlod on the Giants and Rafael Devers. And I said this, I think, in the 8 o'clock hour. So I'm gonna say it again now to say it with my chest. There will be a splash hit.
Oh,
from Rafi Ding Dongs is what I'm calling him. A Rafa Dong.
I think you're the only one calling him that.
I don't know if
a Rafa Dong. A Rafi Dong is happening.
It's not getting better.
That is so much worse. Gonna drop one.
That's right. Splash hit. Rafi Dong. And Chris, what else is on deck? Is that it?
Crazy.
Also, I know that Watkins is into this, or maybe not. Club World Cup. It's been pretty fun. This kicks off this week.
Is anybody watching?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to go to DAZN and then sign up for some weird subscription to watch it. But hey, we got it. Currently, right now, Benfica's taking on the Auckland City.
Love that. The Ox.
And this one actually will be fun today at 11 o'clock. Flamengo will be taking on Chelsea.
Flamengo. Oh, Flamengo.
There we go.
Chelsea Handler.
Nah, she didn't make it.
I got a what's on deck. Okay. College World Series, Chris.
There you go.
A repeat or a rematch of a couple years ago. LSU taking on Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina did the unthinkable a couple years back when they beat LSU to win the College World Series. And they're getting a rematch. Pretty sad stuff from Arkansas. I don't know if you saw that clip. They were an out away. They were winning the game. They were an out away from forcing another game. They would have had to beat LSU twice. And I feel this in my soul, man. I call it the yips. You can get the catching yips too. The left fielder for Arkansas lost the ball. Okay. This is to win the game and force the next game. tries to run forward after he ran backwards. It hits off I thought it hit off his head.
Kind of dove a little,
right?
Yeah.
Right. It hit off his shoulder, ricocheted into the corner. They tie up the ball game. LSU does. Very next play, walk-off hit. Arkansas loses. It just was a disaster. So now LSU taking on Coastal Carolina. That's also on deck, Chris. Anything else on deck?
I think we nailed it. I think we got everything.
There you go. That was What's on Deck, brought to you by T-Rex Decking and Railing. We got celebrity birthdays coming up now as well, Chris.
Why don't we just talk to the guys for a second?
Yeah, that's what I I'm like. I'm just, once we get to these, because me, there's 8,000. We were just joking about this on Crosstalk. The benchmarks and the segments.
Man. Yeah,
there's
the morning
8,000.
show's undefeated.
There's 8,000.
It's crazy. Do you even do a show, or does the show just kind of run itself?
Chris gave me an hour. It was an hour. Everything else was segments. 3 for Madness. What is there?
Who's streaking today?
We did streaking. Some of them got 2 segments built into one.
And they still get their picks for streaking too, huh? So it's like
they're
doing the show and they're not even here.
Leading off, safer out. We did them all.
Wow.
We did them all, and it was a great time. 30
Sponsored
more.
by Devereaux Wigs.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And by the way, Charles and Chris will have a different secret code for you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's news to me.
Our code.
It's a secret, though. We're not.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
It's really under wraps.
Our code is Kurtz, COURT. Okay, 916-339-1140. Text that in to the text line, and you will have an opportunity to win that DeMar DeRozan signed jersey. The jersey was in the in the studio yesterday.
I think we've got it in the vault.
Okay, it's back in the vault. It's a beautiful black jersey with the purple trim.
Dave's got
it. The signature is on the 0. Okay, the signature is on the 0, and it's a great signature by DeMar DeRozan. Guys, just a little preview. What is coming up on the show today? Charles, I know our paths didn't cross until today. But
yes.
you're very familiar with this setting and with this audience, so good to have you back.
Thank you.
What's coming up on the show today?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
That's right.
Wing it.
That's how it goes.
It's Friday.
I
think there was a basketball game last night.
There's a game yesterday. I think that we can spend some time.
I think there's
on.
some Sacramento connections too.
Some Sacramento ties, if you will.
Yeah, like to hear what people think about our guy.
Yeah,
Halliburton.
Somebody's guy.
Our guy. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. That's one of the things I want to find out. Like, where do Kings fans stand with him?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, we're going to talk about the game and the 2 best words in sports, Game 7 coming up. But I don't know. Is there Kings fans want him to win?
Yeah.
Are they against him? Where do they stand?
I know what Chris Berlot and I know what the Chris's want.
Unification.
They want a 35.
That's right.
A 35-point blowout.
That's right. That's
what
Snooze
they want.
Fest, please.
That's what they want.
What, OKC?
Like to where OKC's bored of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like the fans start walking out.
Exactly.
They don't even.
That's how bad they beat the
We'll catch
Pacers.
it on TV. Get a good spot at the bar down the street.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be a good show.
Very weird situation for the Pacers, because you kind of got to rest Tyrese a bit. He only played 23 minutes, but I don't know what anybody's expectation should be. Chris Verlotta and I talked about it. You could get a blowout. You could get a Tyrese Halliburton buzzer beater.
Please no.
I need that.
Please.
I mean, the Thunder could bounce back and go, 20 of 30 from 3. Also,
right?
Like,
They were terrible yesterday.
Game 7, it's so unpredictable. Anything can happen in one game.
That's it.
No, absolutely. I'm just expecting them to play tight. Like I think you see that normally in Game 7s anyway. I think OKC actually had a Game 7 earlier this playoff series against Denver, so they have a little bit of experience going into it with this group of guys, but. Game 7s usually are brick fests, man. Like it is just under. It is guys who are not built for that moment, but they're being put in that moment, and some guys end. Like it's the type of game where a Benedict Mathurin could literally make or break the game, because he's a dude who comes in with no conscience. He's the perfect kind of guy for a Game 7. A TJ McConnell. I hate that I'm mentioning only Pacers here that can win the game for that.
You secretly want that.
But like those are the kind of guys who can swing a Game 7, because it's not about, especially in a game where no shots to SGA or to Tyrese or Siakam or nothing. But like there's no stars, right? Like there's not a LeBron that you can just say well, we know that guy's going to carry us on his shoulders, or Steph, if you want to throw him in there, or KD, where you know that those guys are going to bring a certain level of expectation. Of course, SGA MVP, but like we haven't seen him. Like this is honestly SGA's moment. Like if this is a huge sliding doors moment. If he wins, obviously there's some validation to this season. All that you could argue that it's already been tarnished, but if they lose, Alan, I'm listening to your show on Monday from wire to wire, because there's going to be a ton of fraud talk about SGA if they lose on Sunday.
And I'm telling you that much right now, man.
Yeah. I just think it'd be funny if OKC lost.
It would be
I
funny.
usually want the funniest outcome, and I think that would be the funniest.
It's definitely the funniest because people wouldn't know what to do.
Oh,
everyone's going to be like, well, like, are the Pacers good? Do we right?
Well, if the Pacers lose, I will definitely be having fun on Monday. So
100%.
You would want to check that out.
Yes.
Too.
All right. So
I think I know what time it is.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
It's time for celebrity birthdays, guys.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna be so good at this.
Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than crumble cookies. All right, today, guys, in what year did the movie The Karate Kid Part 2 come out on this day?
1952.
Karate Kid Part 2.
Yeah, 1952.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alan.
I don't know. 94?
1994 is when you see Karate Kid Part 2
I would
came
think
out.
the first one are we talking? Is this Jada? Is this
No.
Jada Smith?
This is Daniel LaRusso with Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, I watched it, but to me, I was a kid. It could be the 80s. I don't know.
I guess 97.
Wow, you guys are
I have
terrible.
no
You're
idea.
all
84?
like Chuck almost got this. It came out in 1986.
No way.
I believe you're thinking of the next Karate Kid,
Yeah, he's thinking
which came out in 1994.
That's
with
right.
Hilary Swank.
Oh, I don't think that's what he was thinking.
All right. No, that's exactly what he is thinking. Okay, on what day did the movie Batman and Robin come out? What year?
Oh,
this day?
98. 1998.
Is that Freeze?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Man, oh
Uma
man.
Thurman.
Uma
Chris
Thurman.
O'Donnell.
George Clooney.
Uma Thurman.
Poison Ivy. Yeah.
Was
George
that
Clooney famously said he thought that he killed the Batman franchise with that movie.
That was the one, Kiss from a Rose.
Yeah, dude.
No,
they made
it's
that
Batman
song-
and Forever.
Oh, that is Batman Forever. It's kind of crazy that song is like for the movie soundtrack.
Yeah. Robin.
You know?
Yeah. And then that dude was in, what is it, Hawaii Five-0?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Chuck guessed
Wait,
1998.
no, he was in NCIS.
Well, that's the one.
Yeah.
What's your guess?
Batman and Robin.
I told you I'm obsessed with
We'll say 93.
Yeah.
No, 98.
No. You said 98?
Yeah, I'm going 98.
It's 97 because I was ready to watch.
We do have a correct answer. And it goes to Alan Stiles, 1997.
He was ready, Uma.
All right, Nicole Kidman, it's her birthday. She was in Batman Forever.
Man, these are just the hits,
How
man.
old is she today?
87.
Forever.
I don't know.
I would have to get a visual. I don't think I'm.
Come on,
Yeah.
Chris.
I mean, I definitely.
Oh, yeah, it's a movie, so he probably has
Yeah,
never
no
seen it
idea.
before ever.
I'll say 57.
Wait, who isn't Nicole Kidman?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said Uma Thurman.
I think I was right.
Nicole Kidman. We'll say. You said 57. I'll say 60.
Alan Stiles is closest, 58 today for Nicole Kidman.
Hey, man.
Good for
And
her.
how about we say happy birthday to McLovin himself, Christopher Mintz-Plasse. How old is he today?
That guy.
He could be.
That's a great question. Yeah.
14.
He could be 45 or 15. McLovin.
Dude, that's
Like 32.
I think like 30. Maybe I'll say 41.
He just did that movie and
What's
just
he been up to, man?
I think you just are done, right?
Nothing. Yeah. I mean,
You do
you're kinda
something like
typecast
that.
at that point. Yeah.
You can live off that.
You definitely.
That's like-
the
that's like-
shirts, right? Like
Yeah.
everyone had that McLovin ID shirt.
That's
for
what Harry
a minute.
Potter should have done. You know what I mean? What is his
Oh,
name?
Daniel Radcliffe? Yeah.
You're Harry.
He kind of did. I mean, he
Well, he
tried to
he's
do other
Got
stuff.
a pretty good career
Forced
going.
into doing
He's
that.
Harry.
Yeah.
Like Carlton, he just does TV shows
Alfonso,
now.
Yeah.
Or he
America's
just hosts,
Funniest Videos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who was it? McLovin?
Yes.
44.
Nice.
Well, Mr. Charles T. Hamilton is closest. He is 36 today.
Wow. Good for him.
And that is celebrity
36, I wouldn't
birthdays.
guess.
All right.
I couldn't guess.
Little Friday fun and games
Wow.
coming up next.
Hell yeah.
To close out the show, Carmichael Dave Show, Jason Ross out in South filling it. We'll be right back.
Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Do I choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number 4th of July sale. Save over $600 on our King P5 smart bed, our lowest price of the season. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip, if a firm presents it's local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, the way Nick Kurtz has been going, it's easy to forget that just over a year ago, he was finishing his college career at Wake Forest. Back-to-back game-winning home runs, including the 447-foot walk-off shot against the Astros to begin the most recent homestand, the longest walk-off for the A's since they began keeping track of those things 10 years ago. Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. It's how retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And it's how healthcare offices become data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Hoplet Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Tickets and info at CITPFest.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
According to Bogey Jones in the Daily Divot, golf is the best sport ever, and they provide a few reasons why. Some include no two courses are the same, so you'll never get bored. Some are wicked long, others have super thick rough, and others have fast greens. Enjoy the variety. You can make the game competitive with anyone. With other sports, bigger, stronger, younger opponents may have an edge. In golf, different tees and a formal handicap system makes it competitive, even if you're a 30 handicap. Golf can't be conquered. One day you can't miss a shot, the next day you want to throw all your clubs into the lake. The unpredictability is fascinating, and age is just a number. You can play when you're 70 years old. In fact, some don't take up the game until later in life, but don't wait that long. And you'll meet amazing people, celebrities, athletes, successful CEOs. You never know who you'll meet on a golf course. And oh yeah, it's a game, so have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop. We have finally made it to Friday.
Let's end your week the right way with Friday Fun and Games
On the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
We know that everyone can be creatures of habit, so we appreciate you hanging out with us today. Alan South filling in for Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross. You turned on your radio, you hopped on YouTube and said, Dave looks different. And it wasn't just you. Dave wasn't in today. Neither was Jason Ross. Great job from Christopher Ladd. And we took you up to 10 a.m. And we're not done yet. By the way, since I bumped up Charles Hamilton, Chris Watkins got you 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Before we get to Friday Fun and Games, I did want to read this quickly. So earlier in the show, Chris played the audio from Boogie Cousins saying that apparently there were fistfights in the locker room for the Phoenix Suns, and Kevin Durant has tweeted about it. And here quickly is the tweet. I have to contest this 94-footer. This is some bull bleep to throw on us. Yeah. We were trash this year. Ha, ha, ha. But we never, in all caps, got close to this. And then again, he says, never. So I'm sure the guys will have some things to say about that. But yeah, Boogie came out, said, I heard they were swinging and fistfights in the locker room. Kevin Durant immediately, as he does, goes on social media and says, yeah, this is bull bleep. So with that being said, let's have some fun here. Friday Fun and Games.
Ironically, is because Boogie was defending Kevin Durant.
Right. And Kevin doesn't seem to care. And somebody brought up real quick,
they used to be boys.
Boogie's just saying, no, what happened with me in that league isn't that crazy. They fight.
We saw that.
Yeah, it's totally normal.
They fight in the NBA too. All right, Chris, let's get into a little Friday Fun and Games.
All right, we're going with a regular on Friday Fun and Games, A to Z. I'm going to say a topic, and it is your job to use a letter A or B or C to pick a topic.
Okay.
I don't think I'm phrasing that well, but you know what? Alan is going to show us how it's done.
Okay.
And Alan, your first topic, I'm going to make it an easy one for you, is animals. So can you get to A to Z in animals in 90 seconds and go?
Aardvark, baboon, cat, dog. What's E? Skip for now. Falcon, gorilla. Skip H. Iguana, jaguar. Skip K.
It's amazing ones are getting skipped right.
Lion, mountain lion.
There you
go. Oh.
N. I'll skip N. O, orangutan. P, pelican. Q. Did I say K? Can I say koala?
Hey, I'll give it to you.
R.
Skip Q.
I skipped Q. Yeah, quail. R. Red-bearded dragon.
There you go.
S. Snake. T. Triceratops.
No.
Pterodactyl. No, that doesn't start with a T. T-Rex.
There you go.
U.
I'm going to say dinosaurs.
Skip U. V. Skip V. W. Walrus.
There we go.
X.
Ooh.
Zyceratops. Y.
Yeah, on point.
A young bear.
Okay, I'll give that to
and
you.
A Z. A zoala.
Didn't want to go with zebra there, huh?
Zebra.
There you go.
There you go.
It starts with a Z.
An E. Eagle for E.
The only thing worse than pterodactyl for T is that it took me like a couple minutes to realize he was wrong.
P, yeah.
I was like, yeah, nailed it.
Yeah, no,
that's a good one.
E for eagle.
Well, I know that this is Chris Watkins, one of his favorite
Yeah,
games.
absolutely. Well, yeah, hit the post, but
so We're gonna give him a old classic. I know he could do better this time.
Okay.
Chris Watkins. Names of businesses.
A, Apple. B, I don't know. B is skip B. C is oh my gosh, why can't I think of brand names, right?
Yeah.
C is K is Kroger. We'll go to D. D is Danimals. E is dang, I was gonna say General Electric. I don't know, what is E? This is terrible. F, Fandango.
It's the greatest day of my life.
G
Okay.
is GoFundMe. H
All right.
is H is Happy Meal is not a brand. I is Igloo, like the coolers. J is Jaguar, like the car. K is Kroger, already established that. L is Lexus. M,
brand.
Yeah. M is Max. That's not a. I think Mac is a makeup brand. N is Nabisco, of course. O is man, I don't know. T is Tang.
Yep.
S, I know that for sure. S is I feel like I did a lot better on that last
You kind
time.
of went around that.
I did. I went all around the alphabet.
You got to T by skipping R and S and Q.
Yeah.
Didn't get B, C, E, H.
That was really terrible. Crystal
pretty good.
Geyser. That's right in front of me.
Of course, Crystal Geyser.
Like,
Come on.
jeez.
You really missed out
Come
on
off my game.
Hellman's like you got last time.
Hellman's, come on.
solid.
Oh.
All right, I've got faith in our host today, Charles
Hellman's.
Hamilton.
That's great.
I know many don't know this, but we tried to get a movie podcast together.
We did.
We did do one.
Sure did.
So I know Chuck loves movies. So yours will be movies. You ready for this, Chuck?
Sure. I'm blanking. Are we there yet? Is that a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pass on B. C. Pass. D.
Happens.
Big movie guy, Charles Hamilton.
Big movie guy. D. Pass. I don't know, man. E. No, I was gonna say this is the end. That's not
Dude.
pass.
Can you just name movies? How about you name
Just name
movies?
movies,
Yeah,
yeah.
name
We'll
movies.
just
and
start
I'll go
crossing them all.
Hold on, let me
It's
go
free.
back. B. Biodome.
There you go.
For sure. C. Kyodome. Man, I'm not doing great. R. Roadhouse.
Boom.
Yeah,
You
nailed
know
that.
that one.
Yeah, obviously. P. Point Break.
Boom.
J. John Wick.
Boom.
You know what I mean?
K.
K.
Can you name any Keanu movies with K?
I feel like you're leading me on to something here, and I have no idea. T. This is the end.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Q.
Q.
Thank you.
Boom.
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 Now
Hey,
that
look, this was not explained to me beforehand.
That's
okay?
right.
I was
That's
put
right.
on the
That's
spot.
on. That's on.
Okay?
Yeah, that's on Chris.
We're gonna redo it. We're gonna do it 3
Both
more
of them.
times
Both of them.
from 10 to 2. We're gonna
That's right.
we're gonna
Yep.
run this back.
Yep.
well, I have to say that was probably maybe the worst.
I think that was
showing.
actually the worst. I think that was definitely the worst.
Yeah,
thing
I
we've
froze,
ever had.
man. I froze up.
Collectively.
I guarantee you, in like the first segment, I'm gonna.
I thought you were gonna go with Keanu for the movie.
Oh,
That's right.
So that's what you were
Oh,
leading me on to.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Kill
Forgot about
Bill.
that one.
Kill Bill.
There you go.
Yeah.
Man.
They'll start flowing now.
I don't know why. I just had Pauly Shore movies in my head.
Pauly Shore and Keanu Reeves.
I in the army now.
In the Army line. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
S.
Son-in-law.
All right, Chris, it's time to get out of here. It looks like it is. Okay, thank you for listening to the Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross show, or Carmichael Dave with Jason Ross. Thank you to Chris Verla. Thank you for all the listeners, the Alan Sal Show is up next, but not with me because I just went. You got Charles Hamilton, you got Chris Watkins, you got Kyle Ledbetter taking you up to 2 p.m. I know the day is just starting for a lot of you, so hopefully it goes quickly for you. We'll talk to you on Monday. Until then, secure the bag. Like the bean.
Stay up to date on Sacramento